This is the Big O Show. 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 This is
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that, gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them, they like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do, they play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden, she's the girl right here. She's a badass, that's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. Cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go, see, getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hello, welcome aboard, baby. We are here in the offices of the dominance of KSDT CPAs here in Dadeland. So come on by, say hi, hire them, use that QR code that's right there. Get your little phone, put it on photo, and there's your QR code. Remember, Biden and the boys loaded up. They are going after all the people that haven't paid their taxes. So if you haven't paid your taxes and you're delayed a year or two or three or whatever, call the people at KSDT. They can get you extensions. They can help you out in the process, all of that. That's what they do, folks. So, they hired a bunch of IRS agents to get after you, okay? So, make sure you take care of yourself and pay those taxes, dude, because they're going after you in a big-time way. Anyway, we are here. As always, Sean Stanley by my side. Yes, sir, Al Caballero. He's cracking the whip out here. And we got plenty of things to talk about and plenty of people to talk to today. Manny Navarro is going to stop by at 11 with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Cameron Wolf at 10:30, actually, with our KSDT CPA, Miami Dolphins, and NFL report. At noon, we're going to talk to David Dwork, Panthers insider, Chirping the Cats podcast. WPLG does an awesome job. Just got back from Las Vegas. I mean, can I feel sorry for him? Because it's Vegas, right? See, Sean's been there a couple times already. He's like, yeah, there's no excuses, bro. Whatever happens in Vegas, if the team wins or loses, you're still winning because you're in Vegas. So, yeah, I can't feel bad for him because he was in Vegas for a couple days hanging out. I just can't wait for my next trip to Vegas. That's what I can. Isn't it the Super Bowl? Is it where? It's this year, right? All right, so I'll be in Vegas this year for the Super Bowl because the Dolphins are definitely going to the Super Bowl this year, bro. That I can tell you for sure, man. That is a guarantee. And remember, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, our business line is 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. If you want to be a part of our platform, great way to get exposure, get new clients, and of course, branding second to none locally, statewide, nationwide, even internationally, man. We've got countries galore listening to us. So it's awesome and very blessed to have the reach. So appreciate all of you out there. Marlins get back on the saddle today. They were off on Thursday. They get to play another crappy team throughout this entire stretch. They get the Nationals today. Sandy is on the mound. So how about that? You get home a Friday night with Sandy. He did have a good outing the last time out. You giving up on Sandy? Really? Wow. 2-5, a 4.75 ERA. Trevor Williams, 3-4 and a 4.11 ERA, towing the slab. So we'll see what happens tonight. But again, Washington, they've taken care of business against the Nationals this year. And the good thing about the Marlins, one of the things I've been impressed with them is they beat the crappy teams. Okay, they don't have a great record against the really good teams. Like in this whole stretch, the only good team they played was San Diego, and they lost 2 of 3. Right, so they everybody else they walloped except Seattle, who also had a losing record, and they lost 2 of 3. But outside of that, I want to say they are now 13-5 in their last 18 games. If I'm going off memory, that's pretty damn good. Now they've feasted on a lot of bad teams. Hopefully this weekend they can feast on the Nationals and pick up 3 more. What you got?
I told you, Skip Schumacher. He's the next Spo and Mike McDaniel.
There you go.
He's Schumacher knows. The Schumacher experience.
Yeah, the Schumacher knows.
Get on board with it.
You know, the key thing is, as long as you stay in that wild card race, they don't have to trade Soler. The second the team slumps, the Yankees are taking Soler, bro. I'm telling you. Okay, so.
Yeah, but then does Soler cool off the bat so that he gets the trade? Because that's why.
Well, no, he wants to get the trade for sure. For sure. For sure.
I'm gonna keep my eye on that guy. He might be sabotaging Schumacher.
Wow. Could be happening. All right, so we got that this weekend. If you want to watch a little Marlins, I know it doesn't really, move the needle. I get it, but I still watch the Marlins no matter what. Yuri Perez is a must-watch every time he pitches, just like Sandy. And by the way, Cabrera the other day that made that catch? Sanchez made that catch in center field. Holy crap, dude. That was nice. Nice timing by him. What else do we have going on? And let's talk a little basketball. Okay, because the Miami Heat obviously just finished their season. We've got free agency right around the corner. And we know these are the 2 hottest parts of the NBA season. It's the playoffs and the offseason. The regular season is the worst part about the NBA season, okay? The one with the most drama and most excitement is the playoffs and free agency in the offseason because of all the movement, the trades, the rumors, the buzz, obviously. And then the Miami Heat are whale hunting, apparently, which they should be whale hunting every single year, overall. But they have failed miserably in getting whales and helping Jimmy out. So hopefully Riley can make the move this year. Did you see Kendrick Perkins' latest suggestion? Kendrick Perkins is a very entertaining host on ESPN. I like him, okay? He's a very likable dude. Now, once in a while, he jumps the shark and says some stuff that, you go a little crazy. Like I told you the one 2 days ago where he's Windhorst, who actually covers the league and has some insight, says, well, Celtics don't want to move Jaylen Brown. They're going to stay with him. And then here comes Perk. Well, they should trade Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal. And Windhorst is kind of like telling him, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. They're locked in on Jaylen Brown. And he's like, well, don't rain on my parade and this and that. So he's coming up with silliness, which, by the way, that's what happens now during this offseason, just like in the NFL and in any sport. When you have the offseason, there's a ton of speculation. Most of it is wrong. Most of it is misleading. And some of it is just plain stupid. And Kendrick Perkins gets to step into the realm of plain stupid. He says the Heat should look at Russell Westbrook.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Let's add another 2-point player in a 3-point world. Okay, Jimmy Butler can't shoot threes. Bam Adebayo can't shoot threes. Let's just add another guy in Russell Westbrook who handles the ball and can't shoot threes in a 3-point game. I mean, it's just like the level of stupidity that goes on sometimes in sports and people that talk sports and a guy that actually played the game, it's beyond me. Okay? It's beyond me. The reason why Jimmy Butler is probably not a number one, he's here a number one, but why he's not a number one is because he can't shoot threes, because he's not a volume scorer on a night in and night out basis. In order for him to be a volume scorer, he has to take a lot of shots because he's not a high percentage guy from the outside. His high percentage comes from what? Attacking the rim. And then that's what increases his shooting percentage. But he's not a guy that you're going to count on from 22, 23 feet away, 21 and a half foot away. It's just not his shot. And Bam, of course, we know that he just is afraid or lacks confidence or no balls or whatever it is, but he has no offensive, desire to be a dominant player on that end. He becomes a serviceable player. He'll do enough, but he doesn't do what you need for a star. You know what I'm saying? This is why I keep talking about Bradley Beal. I'm sorry, Dane Lillard. Because Dane is the guy, that's the guy that had a 50 and a 61 and a 70, 50, 60 and a 71-point game this year. This is a guy that can score and shoot the three at a high percentage like it's going out of style. That's what you need on this team. In fact, I think Lillard will shoot at a higher percentage on this team and will be more efficient on this team. Do you know why I say that? Because Chris Bosh was the best player he could be here. LeBron was the best player he could ever be here. Alonzo, Tim Hardaway, you name it, Hassan Whiteside, and Jimmy Butler has played the best basketball of his entire career these last 4 years in a Miami Heat uniform. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be Gabe Vincent, you're a nobody, and now you're a somebody because you play here. So everybody improves. So Lillard is already a monster. He would be unstoppable here because Spo is a genius. He would run the offense the right way, set him up, make sure that he's got it. And then Jimmy, God bless him, dude. He is one of the most selfless stars I've ever seen because he's willing to get everyone else involved. He's not, he doesn't demand to score 30. That's the beauty of Jimmy Butler. And this will allow Jimmy to roam a little bit more defensively. This will allow Jimmy to be himself a little bit more and attack the rim and draw fouls. Look, you could tell he wasn't himself. Down the stretch, there was no more games where he was taking 10, 12, and 14 free throws because he couldn't. Physically, he just couldn't hold up, unfortunately. Poor man was injured. I don't know if we'll hear about a surgery, but I wouldn't be surprised if he needs one. But Russell Westbrook is a dumb-ass idea, okay? I want Lillard, and I'm not, you know what? I'm at the point where you're not going to get excitement from me for Bradley Beal because I am not convinced he is a dog. I'm not. I'm going to need to be convinced that he's a dog. And that's the one thing that so Lillard is the guy you got to go after. And so far, he's not even on the trade block yet. He hasn't demanded a trade. They haven't put him on the block, but eventually something's going to happen. I know everybody talks about, well, let's see what they do in the draft. Do they draft that third pick?
Or do they end up signing some free agent, trade it for a superstar or something? They're not doing that. Look at the rest of their roster. They're going on a young run now, and they're trying to turn over that roster. So I don't think they're going to try to go for anything this year because they're not good enough to go for anything this year. They're too young still. I think that they're going to draft somebody instead, and they're not going to use that pick to trade it and bring some kind of a veteran next to Lillard. I think they've tried that already. He's at the back end of his career. He doesn't have a long time left at an elite level, maybe another year or two. So if you're Miami and Jimmy doesn't have much left, you got to pay him for 3 more years. You got to make the Lillard move. Russell Westbrook would be an absolute disaster here. Okay? Now, here's the other thing that what do you got to say before I get into my
No, I almost feel like the national media looks at the Miami Heat and looks at the Heat as a reclamation project. Send anybody that used to be good to the Heat and they'll get good again.
Oh yeah, no.
And it's just like, just throw names, and they don't really look at.
You heard Kendrick Perkins' other take yesterday?
Remember, I think you talked about it, but I can't.
No.
Oh,
that was I
okay.
mentioned the one already right before as an example, the Beal to Boston thing that you're talking about. No. He had another take, which, by the way, this one made sense on the premise of it, not the reality, because it's not going to happen. That John Morant needs the Miami Heat culture. He's right. Actually, he's right. John Morant, no matter that we have South Beach and all that, will be a better person here than he will be in Memphis, because Memphis has no track record, like most of the teams in the NBA have zero track record of straightening out players. But Miami does. So Miami, you come to Miami, you are either going to get in check or you're not, or you're getting out, bro. They're going to get rid of you. So if John Morant, he could use now, is Memphis going to give up on John Morant already? No, it's just so stupid by Pendrix. Again, it's just a stupid thing, but it's the offseason. I got to fill time. Producers come up with stupid shit, and then they roll with it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way the game works. You know, you're the show you watch here all the time with us. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't play the you guys know that. I don't like to play the hypothetical speculation BS. I just don't. It's not my style. You know what I mean? Everybody else, right? Oh, no, the Dolphins are going to trade for Dalvin Cook. Oh, they got to give him a big contract. What did I tell you for 2 months? For 2 months, I told you the Dolphins will never trade for Dalvin Cook, and they'll never give him big money. And that's because the media just wants to stir shit up and get clickbait and bait you in and do all that kind of stuff because they need the view. I'm the boring guy. I'm just going to tell you what I know, the information I know, what I think, and it's going to be boring to you sometimes, but at least it's going to be honest, because I'm not reaching to create content. Oh yeah, John Morant needs Miami. And so now all Heat fans are talking about John Morant when there's no shot John Morant's coming. Just like all you Dolphin fans kept talking about, oh, we're going to trade for Cook. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Still waiting. Oh, no, they're looking to replace Tua. No, they're not. We kept telling you. They never replaced him because they were never looking to replace him. That's the owner and the prior coach. Yeah, you had those issues. But not this front office. They were never. So when Josina reported that, by the way, she has another one out there. Josina has another one. I don't know if I should believe it. So, you know what? This is good. This gives me another talking point for the Dolphins that goes off of the Dalvin Cook thing. Remember I told you that Dalvin Cook wasn't going to get any money, like big money, and he wasn't going to get traded, right? And so far it's happened. And I gave you the explanation that, look at Derrick Henry. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants Derrick Henry. He's in the final year of his deal. He's 29. He could change the face of your running game. Nobody wants him. Aaron Jones had to take the pay cut from 17 to 11. Remember we told you? Austin Eckler tried to get out of the Chargers to try to find a trade. Couldn't find a trade. They gave him a couple extra million as a guarantee. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. What was the other running back that's having? Oh, Saquon Barkley with the Giants. They tagged him. Here you go. Here's your $10 million tag. They paid the quarterback. He's pissed. He's holding out. Didn't sign the tag. Holding out right now. He wants a new contract or he's not reporting. Josh Jacobs from the Raiders. Yeah. Another thing. Now, here's another guy. Unemployed. By the way, Dolphins fans, I wouldn't mind signing this guy as the fourth guy, and he'll command less money than Dalvin Cook. You know, Kareem Hunt's still out there. So Kareem Hunt is a hell of a player. And guess what? The last 2 years, he's been sitting on his ass watching Bradley Chubb. No, not Bradley Chubb. What's the other Chubb's name? Not Chubb Rocks, but whatever. Anyways, they've been watching Chubb, run the rock for Cleveland and dominate. So he's fresh on top of all of that. The last 2 years, he hasn't taken a beating. Nick Chubb, that's it. And so think about that. And he's out there. It's why I keep like hammering away to all of you and Omar. And by the way, I was listening to Omar and QAM this morning. Oh my God, do I have something to fry Omar's ass on? But anyway, so the problem is that, you know, where he's at, nobody's going to challenge him. You know, when you're on this platform, I'm going to challenge you and I'm going to fry your ass when you say something wrong. Anyway, yeah, and Dono is the nicest guy in the world. So it's just funny. And look at Kareem Hunt. Would you take Kareem Hunt over the other guys you have here? Not the top three, the other two guys? Probably, right? Over Ahmed and over Gaskin, right? So nobody wants him. According to Josina, which, you know, the Washington Commanders, man, I'm proud of myself. The Washington Commanders, I'm proud of myself. I got it right, okay? Because, you know, us old farts, you know, we keep saying the R word. And so, the Washington Commanders apparently are interested, according to Josina, which we all know that, you know, reports from her aren't necessarily the most accurate in the world. But Kareem Hunt, another running back. How many more examples do you all need out there to find out that there is no respect for the running back? You know, it's funny because I get some fans out there, always just looking at it the way teams build. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, I'm looking at it, yes. Yeah. Besides, I also have information. There's a reason why I was pretty strong on my voicing of, you know, Flo will get fired or, you know, this guy ain't going to get paid, you know, that kind of stuff, you know. And there's a reason why I do things. It's not because I'm pulling them out of my butt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not guessing like Josina Anderson is. Okay? I'm not guessing like, I would say 40% of the media. All right? Yeah, no, I'm not guessing. And, you know, when I'm giving you an opinion, I'll tell you it's my opinion. But when I'm reporting it, I'm telling you, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. Sometimes you got to listen, but the examples are endless on running backs. There is zero respect for running backs. There's several running backs that if you're one running back away from a Super Bowl, why wouldn't you add Dalvin Cook? Why wouldn't you add Derrick Henry? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you inquire about Saquon Barkley? Hey, you don't want to pay him? We'll trade for him. Why wouldn't you do that? Josh Jacobs, if he's having trouble with the Raiders, they're trying to rebuild, well, why don't you go after Josh Jacobs? See what I'm saying? You got to understand the way the running back position is being treated in the NFL, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, whether you think like, you know, one of the listeners sent me a video of some guy, this is a reason, because it was a Baldy explanation with Teron Armstead. And they were talking about certain run play, and talking about hitting that, and the guy, puts out a video of that and says, "Oh, this is why we need Cook." When every running back on the team can hit the same hole, it's not the reason why you need Cook. But again, so many of you lose sight of what's going on. They have a carousel of backs. So you're not paying one guy a whole bunch of money because he's not going to be a bell cow here. No one will be a bell cow here. And it's going to be a rotation. And maybe at times, Cook, if he's here, will be hot. They keep feeding him. If it's Mostert and he's hot, they're going to keep feeding him. Remember, McDaniel has an affinity, a personal affinity for Mostert and Wilson. Those guys know his system. They played really well under his system last year. And they came here with a level of loyalty. And he's going to give them back that loyalty, whether you like it or not. And then he fell in love with some kid named Devon A-Chain, which, by the way, I like him a lot. The more I see the kid and everything I think he's going to make an instant impact. I am dead serious about that. I think this kid's going to make an instant impact. So if you're the coach and you think you have 3 very functional backs that can do everything you need in the offense, you're not going to kill yourself to sign the 4th. You will sign him as a luxury. You will pay him a certain amount of money, especially if it's Dalvin Cook, but you're not going to overpay. And you're not going to pay even market value because you don't have to. Because worst case scenario, I can go get Kareem Hunt. If they really want, and he's still there and they didn't get him. And Kareem Hunt, I could argue, is better than your 4th and 5th backs on the team right now. Although Ahmed, to his credit, I always say this because I cannot ever just gloss over Ahmed when he was awesome last year. Every time they gave him the ball to fill in, that kid was popping runs, and he played well in this system. But a lot of you have to understand that the running back position is just not respected at all in this league. Don't forget, folks, Cutter's Edge Pro. We love talking about Will and Mike. They do an amazing job out there. Full landscape and design, irrigation, lighting. They've got the fancy lighting. We've got it at home where you can actually change the lights, different colors, depending on what events are going on. Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the Dolphins win, whatever, you change the colors. On top of all of that, the artificial grass. To me, that's the greatest thing that I was able to add because that's the easiest way to manage your pets. So if you have dogs, they're going to love the artificial turf, and it's going to save you hundreds and thousands in the long run. So it'll pay off for itself in the end because you're not watering it all the time, and you're not cutting the damn grass every 10 to 14 days, dude, which is ridiculous. I'm telling you, you got to check it out. Call my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro, 954-472-0622. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. They're all over the place, man. And by the way, if you need tree trimming and removals, please don't do it yourself. Let professionals do it. Don't get up on roofs and high ladders up there. And sometimes the trees are either, clashing with wires and things like that. Folks, let professionals handle all of that for you. We're in hurricane season now. Okay, we're now in hurricane season officially all the way to November. So, you may want to clean up the yard a little bit, the palm trees, all those kind of things. So you have, just in case we get a storm, less things, flying around. So landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation design and build, and synthetic turf, 954-472-0622. Go to their Instagram page at cuttersedgepro.com and check it out because you'll see a lot of the work that they've done. Cutter's Edge Pro. Yes, sir.
You may have one less punching bag.
Why is that?
Looks like Michael Jordan is finalizing the sale of his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets. That's from Woj.
Oh, well, it's a Woj bomb, then that's money. Oh, my. So the majority, you said?
Selling his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets.
Wow. If you're a Charlotte Hornets fan, that is some of the greatest news next to George Shinn selling the team. right? Because George Shinn was a cancer. He was terrible. I'm sorry. I don't know if the man is still with us, but he was a terrible owner. And the poor Hornets fans were stuck with that loser. If I'm correct, he's the loser that moved the Hornets out of there and moved them to New Orleans, right? And then that whole thing, right? Is that how it went? And so, and I know then you got back the name and all that kind of stuff. Well, they were the Bobcats before, right? The Charlotte Bobcats? Right, exactly, yeah. So, and then obviously, Michael Jordan buying it at the beginning, you probably thought, wow, this is awesome, until you found out he is the worst executive in the history of mankind. I mean, I don't know. What kind of a logo will we make for Michael Jordan as an executive? A turd? Meme cry. Oh, the meme crying. Yes. That's it, dude. Jordan GM shoes, and they're the meme cry because, brother, I mean, I can do way better than Michael Jordan. I guarantee you that he might have forgotten more about basketball, but I bet you I will make better picks than he did his entire career with the Charlotte Bobcats, Hornets, whatever the hell they were. I mean, that guy is a freaking clown when it comes to an executive. As great as he was a player, he's that bad of an executive. That's how amazing Michael Jordan is, isn't it? Greatest player ever, worst executive ever. Like if Michael Jordan ever asked me, hey, can I run your business? I say, dude, get out of my face. Like, please leave. Okay? You're about shoes. That's it. That's all. You're about the shoes, bro. You're about your play. You're a great player. You cannot run a business. You are terrible. You're lucky that your shoes are the greatest thing that's ever hit sports. And people love your shoes and they buy them. But you, as a basketball executive, my God, bro, Michael Jordan is the biggest joke in the history of the NBA, dude. Seriously. It's a shame because the Hornets have been, nailed with Shin and Jordan. That's, wow. That's like being nailed with Cam Cameron for 40 years or something. Yes.
You think that's why they didn't want him in the Air movie? He shows up and then it bombs.
Well, yeah, Space Jam sucked. Yeah, no, that's right. His movie sucked also. So, yeah.
You know how much George Shinn paid for the Charlotte Hornets in 1987?
In 1987, I'll tell you exactly that he probably paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $24 million.
No, 32.5.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I just didn't know. This seems odd now when you hear billions and it's like 32 million.
Yeah. And he sold it for how much? I want to say he sold it for somewhere in the 500 million range, 600 million range. And Jordan's going to sell it at the close to the billion range. Find out how much Shin sold it for. He made a nice penny. He didn't make Loria kind of money, but he made money. He made money in a big time way. Anyway, so interesting story. What do you got? You trying to find it? By the way, Jamie Zorria, do a little roll call. Number 1 in San Jose, California. Thank you, Jamie, as always. And he reminds everybody, please smash the like button. Very important whenever you're listening to the podcast, watching live shows. Go to the other videos. Just pop in and hit the like button and pop right back out. Do it as much as you can. It's a beautiful thing. It really helps us out immensely. By the way, Steve Chapman in, Tua Time, Eddie Lepp, John Padilla, Steven Gonzalez, Kyle Cockrell, Manolo Rivera, Alexis Palenzuela, Cap for Life, Nizzle Rosendo says good morning. Big O Nation, today is one of the best days of the week because the favor and grace of the Lord will be with you all day. Thank you, Rosendo. Appreciate you as always. John Padilla says, I'll see you in Vegas. A few drinks on me. Just one. I'm not really much of a drinker, but I'll take one. Isaiah is in the house. Ray Sosa. Thank you, Ray, for telling us about Woj. Bromar Smelly Drago. Brian Walters. Why would the Grizzlies ever trade Morant? Now, well, maybe if he continues to have problems, maybe they will, but they're not going to give up on him yet. Dude, they're about to lose him, I think, for the whole season, maybe. At least half to a whole season, I'm going to say. No less than half a season, I think they'll suspend him. He's going to get a big-ass suspension.
If they do suspend him for a season.
Should come down today, by the way.
And you look better. I don't know how you're going to look better without Morant. But
no, you can't.
But if they do, does it make it more?
Plus, they're losing Dylan Brooks.
No, but does it make
a huge loss?
Does it make it easier, though, for you to possibly do the make Ja Morant available?
Yes. Oh, of course. If you somehow play great without him, yes. And some other young guy, blows up, for sure. You can think about it because you can get a world for him. So, yeah, because they'll still trade a lot for him at this point because he's still young. EJ Barro, Jets gang is in the house. Breezy 305. Let's see. Younger players with talent is the best option. Rosendo says, unfortunately, a lot of these talented players have made bad mistakes. Maybe the Heat is the best organization to reform these players. For some of them, yeah, the Heat is definitely one of the best. No doubt about that. True Fin fan is in. Juan. He says, Dame in the pick and roll would be devastating. Of course, dude. Definitely. That's his thing. Kill you there. Steve says, there's been a lot of talk up here in Boston about Bradley Beal. Many of us Celtics fans don't want him either. We've already gotten 2 soft superstars. We don't need a third. You and I see the same thing. I don't see Bradley Beal as the answer. And I promise you this. If they can't get Lillard and they make the deal for Beal, you won't get excitement out of me. I won't be excited until Bradley Beal proves to me that he's a dog. I don't believe he's a dog. So, yeah. Dima is in from Germany, watching from Germany. I love it.
He sold him for $300 million.
He sold $300 million. Look at that. And Jordan's going to go over $1 billion. We got Manny. I'm sorry, we got Cam. All right, it is time to unleash the Wolf Pack.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
Start with Cam now, but I got to give Gus 1388 a lot of love. He sent in 2 super chats. The first one, he says, Woj, vaya con Dios, MJ, LOL, because, MJ's selling the team. Thank you, my brother. Then he sends in a second super chat. He says, don't forget, MJ's mama made the deal for the shoes based on air. So think about this. Michael Jordan has the shoes because of his mom and the money because of his mom. And he couldn't run the Hornets at all. So if there's one thing we all learn now that when he sells the Hornets, when Michael Jordan walks up to you and says, hey, I want to run your business, you run in the other direction as far and as fast as possible. Okay? That's all I got to tell you. How you doing, Cam?
I'm good, man. How are you, O?
Isn't it amazing how the greatest player in the world, because, Woj just broke that he's about to sell the team. And to me, this is a great day for Charlotte Hornets fans because you're a little too young, but George Shinn is one of the great, terrible owners in the history of all of sports. Okay. And he owned the Hornets from the expansion years on for many years and then sold it to MJ for $300 million. And MJ's going to sell this for close to $1 billion, I would imagine.
Yeah,
and so he's going to make a lot of money. But it's amazing how Jordan, one of the great players of all time, can't really find talent. and doesn't really is a terrible talent evaluator. I mean, one of the worst executives in the history of all of sports is Michael Jordan. Isn't it awesome? And by the way, Sean nailed it. You have your MJ brand, right? We should take out a GM brand, and it's the crying MJ face on it. That's his shoe for it. That's his GM shoe.
Right. I think it actually doesn't surprise me a lot that MJ has been as bad in this role as he has, because it's sort of everything in pro sports. If you're really, really good at something, you typically aren't that good coach or good GM. How many times do we see where it's the backup quarterback who was 9 years as a backup, started 2 games, ends up being the Super Bowl winning coach? Doug Peterson comes to mind, for example, for
Gary
that.
Kubiak. Gary
Kubiak. You never see the Tom Brady's, the Peyton Mannings, the those type of guys become elite coaches.
Bro, Don Shula sucked at football at the pro level.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
Same thing.
No, but Belichick didn't even make it to the pros. At least Shula made it to the pros, but he was like Pat Riley. Pat Riley was a bench player, like a defender off the bench. He was never even close to even being a really key role player or anything in basketball. And look at him now. You know what I'm saying? You're right.
I think
the great players suck as executives and coaches.
I think there's something about your greatness that you try to or fail to transfer to everyone else, whether it's evaluating talent or getting it out of them. It's just hard to view people who are not as good as you and try to make them into what you want. And so a lot of times it's the guys, hey, I know how to do it, I just physically can't, that can excel as a coach or as a GM. And so, or even an owner in Michael Jordan's case, it's interesting, right? Because it's become a joke almost, the Michael Jordan Hornets,
unfortunately,
right? And so I think it was about time, because you don't want it to become, and he's already been 13 years, so maybe it's too late, but you don't want it to become a point where it starts to affect your overall legacy, what you're doing as a owner, right? And so as a player, we still think of Michael Jordan as a player, as a shoes, but if he does this for another 5 or 10 years, you start to think of failure in his post-career just as much as you think of his career. And so he makes a bunch of money, he goes to live his life, and he doesn't have to deal with the stressors. It's also important for the Hornets because, look, this is the offseason where they have the number 2 overall pick. I think they have 2 other high first-round pick, or 2 other first-round picks as well.
Yeah.
They have a young roster with Ball and with Bridges and a couple of these dudes who, they seem on the precipice if they make the right moves. And so it's about time for him to let somebody else make these calls and let somebody else run this thing and see if Charlotte can find his way back into being a winner.
All right. You got a question from Dougie Fresh. Prepare yourself. Question for Cam. Who would get kicked out of the Wolfpack first? Conor McGregor for not keeping his paws to himself? Scottie Pippen saying MJ is not an alpha? Or Zion for eating everyone's food?
Conor McGregor gets kicked out of the Wolfpack. We have very little toleration for disrespect or assaulting women in the Wolfpack, and so what he's alleged to doing immediately gets him kicked out of the Wolfpack. We
understand we have to feed Zion because
we all have our vices, right?
Right.
And so Zion, Zion, we're gonna eat, like we're a Wolfpack, we eat. And so you may be a little bit of an overeater, but you're not gonna be too different than us in the Wolfpack. And who was the other guy that was mentioned?
Scottie Pippen saying MJ is, that's a personal thing. Poor guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and they call us lone wolf sometimes. And so
and
Scottie Pippen is a lone wolf.
Is dating Michael's son. So we understand the frustrations of Scottie Pippen. We understand the food dilemmas of Zion, but we can't excuse Scottie McGregor for
Conor McGregor. Exactly.
Conor McGregor. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
We can't. I'm with you.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
Exactly. Zion and Scottie remain wolves, and we'll deal with them as we have to. Right. But Conor McGregor, you're out. You're out of the wolf.
Oh, by the way, you're the leader of the wolf pack. See, here's the best part about it. Do you know what happens with the leader of the wolf pack? The leader of the wolf pack, when they attack the animal and they devour the animal, you, the leader of the wolf pack, you go for the liver and what's the other the liver and the kidneys, because those are the things that has the most nutrients and vitamins and all kinds of stuff. And then the rest of the wolves are left the rest of the body, which is Zion. So he eats all the fat and all the other stuff. You got the substance because you're the leader of the wolf pack, bro.
It is what it is. I've got to get the liver and the kidney.
Yeah, that's why you look. That's why you look slim. And see, Zion is, picking up the ass and the other stuff on the. It's just not. Poor guy. He's eating all the fat stuff. You're eating the healthy stuff. Bro.
We all have our roles in the wolf pack.
That's
and Zion, maybe in a different life, you would have been the lead wolf, but right now you have to take the scraps that you can get. And
Did you know that, by the way? Did you know that fact?
I knew that I didn't know what body parts they were.
Oh, no, yeah. When you see a wolf pack, there's a leader of the wolves. And then when they devour an animal, the rest of the wolf pack waits for the leader to get their piece.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know what
the liver and the kidneys. The leader will always go for the leader, the liver and the kidneys, and then the rest of the wolf pack will devour the rest of the animal. It's pretty amazing. It's like
there's not a lot of nutrients in the heart.
Not like the kidneys and the liver. No.
Interesting.
Yeah, because everything pumps through it where everything gets filtered there in the other ones.
Yeah.
So that's why the liver and the kidneys are so important. And then the leader of the wolf pack actually goes fast. See, so folks, this shows more than sports, by the way.
Hey, we're talking about education. This is what is a show called? Discovery Channel. We got Discovery Channel.
The more you know is what we say here on this show. The more you know, and then the little rainbow with the stars, the more you know comes out. So that's kind of the way you go. Average salaries of the 4 biggest U.S. sports leagues. Average $8.3 million for the NBA, $4 million for baseball, $3.2 for football, and $2.6 for hockey. Well, hockey is a lesser sport, but the thing about basketball is it has less players too, and so they pay less people. Yeah, they pay less people. Dude, the majors has the minors on top of all of that.
Basketball has the best setup. I always hear NFL players talk about that. There's always that. I think the Kelsey brothers did a podcast on this one time about how many NFL players could become NBA players, and the real answer is none. Because if any NFL player could really become a competent NBA player, they would have done it. They got guaranteed money. They don't get hit. They would do it. It's a preferable league for players to play in.
I got something better for you. If they could have been baseball players, they would have been baseball players because that's even easier. That's even more guarantees, and you're doing less and less wear and tear on your body and everything, dude. Please.
I'll only disagree
with baseball. That's why.
I'll only disagree with baseball from one perspective because you have to go through the minors process. Pretty much everyone does, and sometimes you get stuck in the minors process. Yeah. Whereas if you're a good enough NBA player, you get drafted, you go straight to the league. Your contract's going to be guaranteed off the butt. So you, at 19 years old, you're already making millions a year. Versus baseball, you might get a signing bonus initially, and you might not get real money until you're 26, 27, 28. And so for that reason only, I think the NBA is probably
that's if you're not special. I'm talking about if you're a special baseball player. Yuri Perez is in the majors already, and he's a baby. You know what I'm saying? And he's dealing. So there are certain guys that'll make the transition.
I'd say the average star baseball player spending still at least, even the star ones, are still spending at least 3 years in the minors.
You're right.
That's 3 years you're getting paid in the NBA. But I'm with you. Baseball has no real salary cap. I mean, there's a tax, but there's not a salary cap. And so, you get to the right team, you can get Shoni Otana. He's going to get paid over $500 million on this next contract.
Yeah, but he's the biggest freak in the history of baseball, bro.
Yeah, he's pitching and hitting and doing it all. But, if they're having over $500 million contract seats, what is that? That's a Patrick Mahomes contract.
Yeah.
And it's fully guaranteed. Pat's not fully guaranteed.
That's the thing about baseball.
Pat will get all 500. I don't think he has anything to worry about.
The only thing I feel, what I feel really bad about, and I hate that I have to think this way nowadays when I watch baseball. I hate that Trout and Ohtani are stuck with the Angels. I do. I hate it. I'm sorry, because I know what they are. And I know what Artie Morant, I know Artie's going to be selling the team now or whatever, but I know who you are. And so I'm never going to see the great players in great moments that they deserve to be in. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we lost him there. We got him back. Okay, so that's my problem. So I almost feel like Ohtani and Trout should be, on the Dodgers or on the Yankees or somewhere. Philly, your Phillies that'll spend money, or the Atlanta
the Angels are,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a running joke because I'm a baseball fan. It's among baseball fans how Ohtani and Trout are two of the top 3, 4 best players in the world. They're on the Angels team, and they never. It's
Wait.
like it'll be like, hey, show me a ton of.
Let's reconnect. Hold on a second. Let's reconnect because you're popping in and out. You're cutting in and out. Hold on a second. See if we can reconnect and get a better connection there with Cam. Animal Planet section with Cam. Yes, exactly. But I bet you it's a nugget most of you did not know about a wolf pack. What the leader of the wolf actually does first and foremost. So just do we have him back yet? All right, let's see. Let's get him back in there. The heart is a muscle and tough. Kidneys and liver are sweetbreads. I like that, Dwork. It's very nice. It's very nice. We got him in. All right. Here we go.
Sound better now?
Okay, there you are. Yeah.
Okay.
What were you saying? Because of Ohtani?
Yeah, no, I was like Ohtani and Trout are both on the Angels, two of the best 3 or 4 players in the league. And every year the Angels are not making the playoffs, right? And there's a running joke like Ohtani will throw 8 shutout innings, go 3 for 4 with 2 home runs. Trout will go 4 for 5 with 3 home runs, and the Angels lose 10-6. Right. It's like you're essentially wasting a couple of the best players in the world, and so
we've already wasted most of Trout's career already.
And he's on a long-term deal. So Ohtani's coming up. He'll be a free agent this offseason. It sounds like he's going to leave and probably take whatever the best offer is elsewhere, which may be the Dodgers, maybe it's the Giants. Sounds like he wants to stay west. So
he's Asian, bro. West Coast mostly. Most of the time, Asians are more comfortable on the West Coast because there's a ton of Asians. It's like telling a Cuban where you want to be. Oh, dude, I want to be in South Florida, man. Of course, all my Cuban people are there. It's just the same thing. Tons of Asians on the left coast, and that makes a lot of sense for him. Once in a while, they get him to come over to the East. I'm sure
New York. Maybe get him to New York.
Although I don't know if this Yankee ownership is the same, dude. These younger Steinbrenners don't have the cojones and the aggressiveness of the old man. They don't go all the way. That's why they haven't won since what, 2009? Right? Is it 2009?
Yeah. Sounds like it. I don't remember.
By the way, George was on his deathbed in 2009. That was kind of the end of that's the end of the run with George. Since the kids took over, you can win because you're going to be able to spend some money, but they don't go all the way like George did. Like George didn't give a crap. He wanted to win. And that's something that you have to respect. He did it all within the rules of the game. It is the rules. But you know who could give him the money in New York is the other crazy bastard, Steve Cohen from the Mets.
I hope not. I'm a Phillies fan. I want the Mets to suffer.
No, I know that. Hell, by the way, your Phillies spend money too. I don't know if they would spend that kind of money, but
we've already spent on Bryce and Trey Turner. I think we're a big market team, but we're probably like the 5th or 6th this market team. We're not 1 or 2. So I think Bryce and Trey Turner and Nick Castellanos, that's probably the limit. Yeah.
I hope somebody with money gets him, like somebody legit gets him, because Ohtani's
somebody with money will get him. He's going to be making $500 million guaranteed at minimum, $50 million a year. Sure. Somebody with money is going to get him. He might make more than the Marlins' entire payroll next year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, I was having some fun with this because we've talked out the Dalvin Cook topic like crazy, but last time you were on earlier in the week, we talked about how Saquon's having his issues. Aaron Jones had to take the pay cut.
Yep.
Eckler could not find any takers. By the way,
Yep.
Kareem Hunt is just sitting out there by himself in free agency.
He might have to take a minimum deal.
And nobody brother, I mean, the disrespect for that position.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you are a one contract position.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any running backs in the league that have more than 2 years guaranteed on their contract. Like other than rookies, obviously rookies get that, but like any second contract guys, they're essentially getting deals where it's 1 or 2 year deals and guarantees. So you're literally every running back who's not on a rookie deal is either year by year or 2 years at a time, which is a wild thought. There's quarterbacks who have 4 years guaranteed. There are offensive linemen and defensive linemen that have 3 years and a second guaranteed year. What do we got here? John Morant, 25 games, popping in here, suspended. But yeah, it's a wild element for that running back position, and I think it is sad because these guys do contribute a lot. And I hope that the NFL works in waves. I hope that we're going to get to a wave, and I think we're getting closer where teams go the other way. When everybody is going so much of a passing league, that you get a beneficiary when you have an elite running back, and you can start to value that a little bit more. But right now, if you're teach your kids to be something other than running backs, because it's not a favorable spot.
No, I'm with you there. You better teach them to be something else, because that one is a position that, damn, dude, it just doesn't allow you. Now, the Bills situation. Clearly, Stephon Diggs is a guy that is, let's just say, a load to deal with, not just on the field, but off the field. And so all the talk that you heard from McDermott, and then the fact that Josh Allen is kind of taking blame himself for what's going on with Diggs, to me, this is so bogus that it just seems to me like this entire organization is walking on eggshells because they're worried about pissing him off. Because last time I checked, Josh Allen is the most lovable dude that you can get along with in that entire team, that entire community. Everybody embraces that guy. That guy never has any issues with anybody. It's everybody that's had issues, maybe it's Stephon Diggs that has issues with the world. So this is the first comment out of McDermott was concern. And then after that, he's backtracked to tell us how much he loves him and how much he's important and all this. And it's almost like they've got to worry about insulting or worried about the petulant child's feelings. What is it that's going on there, bro? The guy's making a boatload of money. He's the number one wide receiver. What more does he want, Cam?
Yeah, Steph can be a diva. He's your quintessential wide receiver diva, and he can be an emotional player, and it can help you when he's really on, but it can hurt you. I mean, we've seen some of his blow-ups on the sideline, and I think a lot of it comes out of passion, and a lot of us don't understand that, and we don't agree with it. But from what I can gather,
the maturity of the passion, I think, is what we don't agree with.
It's how he handles it, right? Other people may handle it or express it in a different way. This is how he expresses it. And so he's clearly been unhappy with how they've been building the team and how they went about the end of last season. And you could see it with the blow-up with Josh Allen in that final game. He stormed out of the locker room, didn't talk to reporters, and nobody's really heard much from him since that moment. And so he has a contract that, gives him a lot of money. He has a lot of guarantees. I don't think this is contract related. I think this is him not being happy with either Josh Allen or the team, which, what can you do about that? You just try to make him feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more happy. But the thing when you have guys like Stephon Diggs, you're going to have to massage them a little bit. You're going to have to work it. You're going to have to make them feel like they are always included, that they are always important, and there's going to be maintenance involved. And essentially you put up with it as long as he's worth the stress. And Antonio Brown wasn't worth the stress. So a lot of teams finally cut bait, but teams kept trying because he had the talent. And it was like, maybe if we can deal with the maintenance of Antonio Brown, we can get the talent. Right now, Stephon Diggs' talent far outweighs the maintenance, but as he declines and as he gets older, I wonder if that shortens his career.
Yeah, once the bag, like I always say, once the baggage overwhelms the talent, you're done. And that's like Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown could still be one of the 5 or 10 best wide receivers right now in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But the baggage got you out of the league. And by the way, rumor has it that Adiza Bakari hired Tony Robbins on retainer so he can, those 3 a.m. calls where Stefan is calling Adiza. They call Tony Robbins to give him a motivational speech. So,
gotcha. And I mentioned
that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
And I mentioned it a little earlier, but the news dropped that John Morant will be suspended for 25 games.
Oh, it is? It's 25? Yeah. It came out finally?
Yeah. So I mentioned John 25, but I didn't make it clear what I was saying. But yeah, Woj reported that they suspended John Morant 25 games.
I thought it was going to be at least half a season, maybe more, to maybe a full season.
I think 25 is probably about right. It doesn't derail the entire season, but it sends a significant enough message. You're missing at least a third of a season.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just 25 game vacation, and then you're labeled the savior. You're labeled the savior when you come back, and then you're like, "Oh, me, I brought you all back," and then maybe you didn't learn a damn thing.
Right, but it's unpaid. So this guy's making what 30 something $30 million a year. So that's close to $10 million that you're losing in salary and games. So it's not like a paid vacation. Hey, I don't care how much money Jobs is making. You lose $10 million. That's a significant thing, and then obviously it's going to probably eliminate him from all the All-Star and all the All-NBA ballots for missing that many games. He already missed his chance to get a Supermax extension because he missed the All-NBA last year, and so it prevents him from doing it this year. And so I think more than anything, taking money away hurts the player. Taking games away hurts the team.
Yeah.
So you hurt the team a little. You hurt the team some, and you hurt the player a decent amount as well.
I like that. I don't know if he'll learn. I gotta see if he'll learn, because from the first to the second incident was so incredibly stupid and in such a short amount of time. Like the level of ignorance is crazy. So it's kind of
all we can do is
it's like, you know what it is? It's like I want the Heat to get Dane Lillard. I don't really want Bradley Beal because I'm not convinced he's a dog, actually.
Okay.
I'm not convinced. So he'll come here and I won't be that excited. He'll have to convince me that he's a dog. I think he can score because he's on a terrible team. And so, he gets the ball every night. So he's going to put up great points. And I know he's got talent, but I'm not sure. And I'm sure of this. He's not Dane Lillard. That's what I'm sure of.
Yeah, Dame's different.
That's an SOB. Right. That's an SOB, Dane. That's the guy that cuts your heart out and looks at you while you're taking your last breath and saying, "You see, that's what you get for messing with me." That's Dane Lillard. That's the guy I think Jimmy needs. If you're the Heat, you agree with me? You got to make the move for Lillard over Beal?
Hey, if Lillard is available, $3 million for the Hornets for Michael Jordan, by the way. We said $3 million. $3 billion.
$3 billion?
Yeah, with a B. $3 billion.
I didn't know it. Wow.
Yeah.
$3 billion. So then the Knicks are like 5, right? And
maybe
the
double.
Lakers must
Lakers
be like
probably
6
10,
or something.
15. I bet you it's 5. I bet you it's at least 6 or 7 for the Knicks. Probably 7, and then probably 10 for the Lakers.
Probably. Wow. I didn't know they were worth that much. The Hornets?
Yeah.
The Hornets?
That's crazy.
Wow. That's
crazy.
nuts.
Sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry. I just saw that come across. I was like, I figured that was worth mentioning.
You're right, and I'm wrong, really wrong for thinking just over $1 billion. You know why? I have a story here that I was going to talk about later. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they're selling minority ownership on an evaluation of $1.4 billion.
Yeah.
So that's hockey. And, the NBA is way ahead.
I'd imagine that maybe I'm not educated on the value of hockey teams, but I'd imagine that any NBA team clears the highest,
anything of
value hockey team. Like, what's the highest value hockey team? Maybe
probably Toronto. Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto or the Bruins or something like that. Maybe the Rangers. Rangers might be high up there too.
I'd
imagine that. I'd imagine that none of them are getting $3 million that the Hornets are getting.
Right. Yeah, no, that's crazy. You're right.
$3 billion.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got going on NFL Network so folks can check you out? Because I see you got your golf gear right now.
Oh yeah, I am heading to the course. It feels like the hottest day in the summer of South Florida, but we're golfing, and so I've got a tee time around noon, and so I'll go do that. And what's today? Today is Friday. Enjoy the weekend. It's Father's Day, so I get some Father's Day love with my daughter, and then Monday I'll be back on TV for Total Access. So we'll probably talk a little bit of Dolphins, and you'll probably see me once a week until training camp on TV. And then I think I told you guys last time I'll be hosting Good Morning Football the second week of July. And so we'll have a bunch of talks there. I'll make sure to talk some Dolphins there as well. And so kind of sporadic coverage over the next 5-6 weeks as we kind of get a little bit of a rest. But should be a fun season ahead.
Good stuff as always. Cam, appreciate you, my brother. Have a great weekend and happy Father's Day.
Appreciate you. Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir. There you go. The Wolfpack has been unleashed. We wrap up hour number 1. Manny Navarro starts off hour number 2.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right, there he is, the one and only Manny Navarro. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm doing great. Oh, how are you?
Very good, sir. Cannot complain. Sad note, bro. Ray Lewis's son. I mean, you and I are fathers too, and I mean that's the last thing you want to. You need to check out before your kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's I saw that yesterday, and man, sad story, dude. What sucks.
Yeah, unfortunate. 28 years old. So another one of these tragedies of somebody dying far too young. Obviously, we don't know the circumstances of what happened to pass away at that age, but hopefully we'll get some answers here. I know, when he signed with Miami, there was a lot of excitement, of course. Ray Lewis III, right? You're going to have the son of a legend on campus. Unfortunately, his career at Miami didn't really pan out. He ended up transferring, I think, to Coastal Carolina first and then Virginia Union and HBCU. So sad story, as you said. Unfortunate that a young man at that age is no longer with us.
It's I saw that, and it's like way too young to go, man. Way too young. You got a lot of time left, man. What a shame. All right, recruiting wise, I think it's a safety they just picked up, right?
It's actually a tight end.
Tight end. That's right.
Yeah, Elijah Lofton, the number one player in the state of Nevada, out of Bishop Gorman. So remember Brevin Jordan, the tight end who came out of same high school. He's not as big as Brevin. He's a little smaller, 6'2", 220, but really unbelievable athlete.
Same. Isn't that the same high school that produced some quarterback that went to Ohio State and then came here?
Tate Martell as well, but we're only going to remember Brevin Jordan because Tate Martell didn't have much career at Miami.
Tate Martell of tight ends that we're recruiting, right?
Yes, he's not the Tate Martell of tight ends. Bubba Bolden, by the way, the same high school, right? The safety.
That's right.
But it's a good win for Mario. Second blue chip recruit in this class in terms of the 247 sports composite ratings, which combine everybody, all the services. So second 4-star that they get. I've talked to you about it ad nauseum. It's not easy recruiting the second full recruiting cycle when you come off a 5-7 season. So this was a recruiting win. This kid was interested in Texas quite a bit. I think Arizona State, his home school, they're close by. Nevada, that was recruiting him pretty hard. So I think it was a good win, and he's a guy that's going to be used all over the field. If you watched any high school football action, national high school football action last year, because ESPN does show quite a few games, and so do some of the other major TV stations now. He played against Hollywood Chaminade. Hollywood Chaminade was a 4-time defending state champion. Scored 5 touchdowns against Hollywood Chaminade. And Gorman blew out Hollywood Chaminade. I think it was 49-14 was the score, but he was a stud. He scored 4 rushing touchdowns. Kid can be used in a lot of different capacities, and I know the coaching staff is really excited that they got him.
Cameron Pruitt, another guy.
Yeah, that was last week. Cameron Pruitt. He's a safety that they are converting to linebacker. A guy that has the kind of a body, 6'3". I think he's close to 200 pounds. Super fast, had close to 100 tackles last year. I think he finished with 99 tackles last year at his high school. Highly productive, the kind of guy that you need to cover tight ends that can play in the box and play sort of that striker position in Lance Guidry's defense. So I think an excellent pickup for Miami. Both of those guys, both of them off of recruiting visits the previous weekend. So they had 14 kids here. Most of them were blue chippers. And this weekend they're going to have another 5 or 6 visiting. And so, again, important to make a good impression. I try to tell people, I counted the stats. Last year over their summer visits, I think they only signed 33% of the guys that ended up visiting over the summer. So it's not just getting them to visit now, it's getting them to follow through in October and November, come back for a game and continue the recruitment process. So you can get these guys on campus. It's just not easy to sign them, but we will see. I think in the end they have a good season. They go 8 or 9 wins, and people see some real improvement between the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I think you're going to see some kids be inspired to want to come be a part of this program.
Well, I got to ask you now because you're doing some Heat coverage too at the same time, and
Yeah.
I've been talking about this. And you look at I'm looking right now at your athletic page, and it says Navarro. When these finals end, Pat Riley needs to go get Dane Lillard, and I agree with you completely. In fact, I've said it already to this point. I know Bradley Beal might be another option there. Bradley Beal doesn't really, as the late great Mad Dog, rest in peace. He doesn't make my toes tingle. After watching him for several years on a bad team, I'm not convinced he's a dog. Whereas Dane Lillard, I know, is a son of a buck.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna cut your heart out, and I think that's what this Heat team needs. They need a number one. They don't have a number one. I think he would be a better scorer than Jimmy, and it will allow Jimmy to be more himself. And he doesn't have to really carry the offense as much. I think Dane would be beautiful for this offense. Do you agree Dane is the guy? And maybe Bradley Beal, yeah, you can acquire him, but I think it's still kind of questionable if it makes you even a contender.
Yeah, I'm glad you agree with me, because when I wrote that column right after the Game 4 loss, I had a lot of people calling me an idiot in the comment section. There's no way this will happen. There's no way it'll happen, blah, blah, blah. And it may not. There may only be a whatever.
Don't worry about it, bro. I was called many more things that were worse than that when I said Flo was going to get fired in the middle of a winning streak. So it's all right. Don't worry about it.
Well, I look, I think, I don't know what percentage of chance that it's going to end up happening. Portland has to decide ultimately what they're going to do. They have the number 3 pick here. They're trying to build, sort of rebuild around Dame, and smartly so. I mean, I wouldn't let that guy go if I were them. I think he's a special player. He's a number 3 scorer in the league this past year. Yes, he's going to turn 33 years old, but the reality is, he's the kind of guy, to me, he's kind of Steph Curry light, right? I mean, that's what he is. He's that kind of a talent. And if I'm Pat Riley, I'm moving heaven and earth to get that guy, because that's what they need. They were last in the league in scoring this past year. And you go back to these NBA finals, and even before that, even against Boston at times, when Jimmy can't score, this offense goes kaput. And you can't rely on Bam Adebayo to be that guy. And if the 3-point shooters aren't, what's that?
Because Bam's not that guy.
He's not. He's not a scorer. He's not. He can get you 20 points, but it's going to be 20 points on 15 or 16 or 17 shots, with like 8 of them being dunks. That's how he's going to get his points. He's not going to be a real threat and a possession guy that you can just, hey, we need a bucket here, Bam, go get it for us. That's Dame Lillard. That's what Miami needs. And I think the one thing you have to realize if you're a Heat fan, it's a really small window right now you have to win a championship, because Jimmy's going to turn 34. We saw how beat to shit his body was at the end of those finals, and they need a guy who can take over a game. It's not going to be Duncan Robinson. It's not going to be Max Strus. It's not going to be Gabe Vincent. Those guys are awesome in Heat uniforms in Eric Spoelstra's role-playing system. They are not guys that are going to win you a championship being the number 1 scorer on a team. And so you need to go out and get that, and Pat needs to use whatever resources he has to get it done, because this is it. Once Jimmy kind of hits that Kyle Lowry phase, it's over. It's over. You're not going anywhere. You are barely a playoff team.
And by the way, he'll hit it a lot faster if you keep him in this position, because they have failed miserably to get another star. And look, 4 years, you've gotten to 3 conference finals and 2 titles. If you would have gotten that star, you might have won one of those titles, maybe. Yeah. And maybe the 3rd trip to the conference finals last year, maybe that becomes the 3rd trip to the finals if you would have found that star. So I'm with you. You need to find that star in now this offseason, because I don't think Jimmy has more than a year or 2 left. After that, I think that body is going to break down. He can't play a whole regular season. That's why you're an 8 seed, because he's missing 1/4 of the season. So if he's going to miss 1/4 of the season, you need another star there to carry your team, so you don't lose, some of those games, and it kills you in the standings. And so that, to me, it's imperative that you get another horse right away this offseason.
Yeah, and I think, some of the fans saying, well, look, Dame is going to be 33 years old this year. It's a different type of game that he plays compared to Jimmy. He's not going up there fighting for rebounds in the paint, putting his body through a bunch of punishment. He's out there hitting threes from half court and just drilling big shot after big shot, coming off of screens and hitting buckets. It's a different game that he's playing than Jimmy Butler.
And pick
Dame
and roll
Lillard,
with Bam. Oh my
yeah.
God, he'd kill it, dude.
Yeah,
Kill it.
Dame Lillard, I think, gives you a chance to win two championships in a row with Jimmy and Bam. Those next 2 years, you have that small 2-year window where I think you'd have a chance to win a championship. Obviously, it would put Miami in a tough position. You'd have to replace a lot of role players, but that's what this organization does. I like Highsmith. I think Highsmith, you could put him in the starting lineup and he'd be very, very good for you. And a guy that contributes quite a bit. So there's ways to replace guys, and the Heat do it seemingly better than anybody else in the league. And why not make that trade now when you've got that opportunity?
Amen. I'm with you. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What are you working on The Athletic so folks can check you out?
Yeah, look, a lot of college football recruiting stories, obviously. And there will be more of it here over the summertime. I know people are starting to look forward. Hey, what is everybody else in the ACC going to look like in terms of competition for Miami? So there'll be some ACC stories. Plenty of fun off-season reads. My buddy Ari Wasserman is over at the Elite 11 in California. Miami just recently offered Trevor Jackson, who's a kid out of the Orlando area that I wrote about a few months ago when he first got his invite. Very under-recruited, very under-the-radar guy, but he's turning heads left and right over there. Still looking for a school. I know some Miami fans are disappointed in the commitment. Judd Anderson, he's a very low-rated 3-star player. Well, Trevor is really rising up the quarterback ranks, and I'm interested to see if Miami can get him on campus. So we'll be following that story as well.
All right, good stuff. And follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, have a great weekend and happy Father's Day, my brother. Appreciate you.
Same to you, my brother. Hope you get a chance to enjoy Sunday with the family. I know I will. It's going to be a good weekend.
Be nice, relaxing at home. That's the plan,
right.
Stan.
That's the plan.
All right, man. Be good.
Take care, brother.
You got it. There you go. Appreciate you. And, it's the family. You want to go out? No, man, I just want to be home and relax, dude. I don't need you. I don't need anything fancy. I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good relaxing at home with the family and the dogs. And that's it. By the way, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Go see my friends at Canes, where Brett does an amazing job. Jeff, all the great people out there, man. Just amazing, amazing service. They've got almost anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. They've got Dolphins gear. They've got Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear. Get that messy jersey. All of that, baby. They've got it at Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com. You can order online. And if you order over $99, you'll get free shipping. So if you don't live close to Caneswear, you can't drive, or you live out of state, go to caneswear.com, man. You're going to check it out. They got over 100 different Canes t-shirts. It's crazy, all the amount of stuff that they have, and they're constantly adding all the time. So check it out at caneswear.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. So we got the suspension, 25 games for John Morant. What else do we have, sir?
In the NBA memo that was sent out on the suspension, Adam Silver says prior to his return to play, John Morant will be required to formulate and fulfill a program with the league that directly addresses the circumstances that led him to repeat this destructive behavior. So can he formulate the plan during the 25 games, or is that a way to make it more than 25 games?
From now to the 25 games, you better be formulating that plan. And that's kind of a come to Jesus type of thing that they want him to do, basically. Explain to us what got you there. Why were you this person? And then they want to see if he understands why he was a moron. Why he's Ja Moron now. That's a nice test because it's kind of now, I hate to say this, but agents will probably help out in constructing it and programming him so he says the right things. I'm sorry, I'm cynical. I've been in this business for over 30 years. I I can't tell you I have a lot of trust for people in general in this business. And so John Morant will probably get help because obviously you can't be the brightest bulb in the chandelier if you had a gun incident and then they suspend you and your dumbass does it within 2 months later. Again, the same issue. That shows that you lack intelligence, awareness, common sense. You're a dumbass. Like, you're making a lot of money. You're the face of a franchise. You mean a lot to a lot of people. It's that scene from Ice-T and Pookie in New Jack City, and it says, "You owe Pook. You owe a lot of people, Pook." Because, Pook is at that moment straight. They got him clean. And then he wants to help out. He says, "Yeah, you owe a lot." Well, Morant, you're getting paid that money, right? Well, you owe your teammates, you owe your coaches, you owe your fans, you owe the organization, you owe your sponsors, you owe the league. You're representing all of that, dude. When you're John Moran or you're Jimmy Butler or you're, I don't care who it is, Redick or whatever, anywhere in the league, any player you name, this is what you're representing, all of those things. And if you're not aware of that, brother, you are a king-size idiot. And that's what I think that whole thing is. Show us that you're not an idiot. Show us that you're smart enough to understand why you were catastrophically stupid the first time and even dumber the second time. Please explain to us where your head was. Because last time I checked, I know what Scarface says. Get your head out of your culo. Yes, sir.
No, I want to say, because I know Troy Ortiz just said, should keep better company and this and that.
That too?
But also, the friends knew about it because you saw when he's doing the thing, he's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
Like, what are we doing? I mean, so it also goes on Ja, too. I mean, if you're driving
in a car. It all goes on Ja.
The phone's on. You're putting people in bad positions as well to make them look
Des Bryant's dad was a pimp. His mom was a whore. You see Des Bryant in trouble? No. Now, he had his, petulance.
There was some immaturity, but
but never anything.
No issues.
Like ever. That. Nothing. Right? Dwayne Wade, his mom was a crack addict. And he would stay up till 2 a.m, 3 a.m, worried about his mom coming back from, some kind of binge. He lived in crap. Did he give in? No. Because ultimately it's up to you. It's the decisions you make. It's the people you decide to hang around with. So ultimately it falls on you. We can't play this game that others play all over the place. And then they just point finger, like Antonio Brown points fingers at everybody. The orange orangutan points fingers at everybody. People don't take responsibility for themselves and for their actions. They want to blame everybody else for their problems. And that's what I think they want to see in the NBA. Ja, explain. And if in that explanation and everything or presentation or whatever, he shows that he starts blaming other people for his actions, that's where the NBA will say, yeah, nah, you didn't learn your lesson. It's not 25. Now we're going to go 45. Because maybe you'll learn your lesson. Anything else? That's it? Okay.
The only reason I brought that up was because Woj sent back out that there was going to be other things that he's going to have to cover. So that apparently was one of them that they definitely wanted to hit on.
That's it. Let's see. Everyone here loves crap on Zion. Can't wait until he balls out next season. Good luck with Bradley Beal. Well, Tua time. I think that's. I get you're a Pelicans fan, but brother, I mean, you can't talk up Zion. Fat boy just struggles. Looks like he's got a lot of fat in his brain. Is probably what it is. Oh, would you agree? Ja needs to keep better company. Don't think his so-called friends are help. No, of course not. But in the end, it's on him. He's a moron. He has to do better. Let's see. Lillard doesn't have a huge injury history to a time. You can look it up. I'll look it up for you overall, since I guess you have not looked that up. But Damian Lillard is a guy that if I'm correct, he doesn't miss a lot of time. Here we go. I'll give it to you right here. Let me give it to you right here. He's played 58 and 29, 67, 66, 80, 73, 75, 75, 82, 82, 82. So yes, you are correct. The last 4 years, he has missed a lot of games. Before that, he was amazing, playing most of it. This is, and you wonder too, also with the team. But he has missed it. You are right. The last 4 years, he has missed his share of games. A lot of games, especially the last 2 years. Last year, he played 58, and the year before, he must have had a big injury. But overall, I mean, shit, man. This is crazy. He averaged 32 points last year. Those 2 years of injuries, 24 and 28. Before that, 30, 25, 26, 27, 25. And he had 32 last year. He can score. So obviously he got a little healthier. So it looks like he went into some kind of a funk for a couple of years, and he might be getting out of it now, actually. But in the end, he only has a year or two left of elite play because at his age. But it's elite, better than Bradley Beal. And he still misses less games than Zion Williamson, even with all the age and the wear and tear. Zion Williamson is young and lazy and fat and a disaster, and he gets half the women in New Orleans pregnant. So it's not a good thing to a time. The Heat getting Lillard has as much of a chance as Braun Breaker beating Seth Rollins. I guess that's a long shot.
Yeah, but there's a chance.
Okay. All right. Big O Pacino still has it, brother. He's the father of a little boy. I know. 83. I saw that. Yep. I saw it. I mean, I don't know how that woman has sex with him, but whatever. Apparently, by the way, she's famous for banging old guys. She's been with like 2 other old guys, like really old, like him. She's done it. Look it up for me. I want to say, I'm trying to remember the names of that story with Al Pacino. I forgot who are the other ones, but it's like 2 famous people that she was with, and they're all like she's totally into people close to being in a coffin, like completely. She is enamored with the dead. Sorry. I can't. It's the only way I can look at it. You're 29. What are you doing? What are you doing? Seriously, you're banging something that you could kill. I mean, yeah, you got it.
She's
now?
previously dated Mick Jagger, billionaire investor and film artist Nicholas Bergeron, who's 60.
Yeah. Oh, he's a youngin.
Also been spotted out in Los
teenager.
Angeles with 91-year-old Clint Eastwood.
And that 91 Clint.
Who she insisted was a family friend.
Yeah.
We know how those go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she's the fountain of youth for Cemetery Village. So yeah. I don't know how I have all that information in my head, by the way. Seriously. You ever notice that stuff that I just pull all this kind of crap out, like where it comes from, and I have no idea how I store it all in there, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I knew about that story and how she loves her old geezers. I mean, you're 29. Like, seriously. Playing the lotto? I mean, yeah, you're cashing in, but oh, no. 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 God. So no, can't do that. But wow, it's crazy. She could be Pacino's granddaughter, great granddaughter. What are you talking about, bro? Great granddaughter. You know. Like my man Jay Lethal said, the oldest ride is the longest line. Woo! Ray Sosa says she's got to be doing it for money. Of course. But that woman will do anything, you know. She is well off, big. Yeah, of course she's well off. Look at all the old geezers she's banging. They're all giving her money, dude. She's rich on her own? Nah, she probably gained it all from all the different dudes she's picked up, and they've given her the cash. Because if she's rich, then that's really
She
sad.
comes from a wealthy family and was raised in Beverly Hills, California.
Oh God, then that's a really pathetic story. Then at least if she was doing it for money,
she has genuinely just been attracted to older men ever since she began dating.
Dead men, not older men.
Well, I mean, they weren't gonna. This is from an ET article, you know.
Yeah, I know, but
dead.
They're dead men, not old. I mean, seriously. Does she have sex on walkers too?
Maybe.
Yeah, she might be flexible. Well, you're going to have to be for the old geezers. Wow. Okay. All right. Just too weird for me to and it got even weirder, the story. I didn't know that she came from a rich family. That's a nugget I did not know. Now it bothers me even more, this story. Actually. So you don't need the money? And you're actually banging dead men by choice? Really? Doesn't make sense. By the way, I'm on my way here this morning, and just to break a little news for you, Omar Kelly is no longer on the platform, at least for now. He'll be back, I'm sure, by next year. He took a job with QAM. They offered him a pregame job, and he's filling in for Joe a little bit. So, you know, he's gonna make himself a little extra cash. I can't blame him. And so, you know, we have parted ways for now, like we did with the whole Brandon Marshall thing. And I figured he would come back after that too. And QAM's broke as hell. You know, he'll get tired of getting paid 2 months after he did a job. So eventually they'll have no money. And at the end of the football season, you know, he'll come back, I'm sure. So we'll get him back eventually, and we'll have some fun. But so let me test you, Sean, and let me test you all out there. What does Omar Kelly call the salary cap? What does he say it is?
Can't remember exactly. It just says it's not there. It doesn't
exist.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how Omar loves to play both sides of everything.
I got another one.
And
I came earlier too. I got another story for you.
And you know I bust his ass here. Like, nobody's going to do that over there, but you know I'm going to bust his ass here, and anybody else. It doesn't matter who you are. You come on this platform. If you think if I think it's something that you're wrong at, or you're way off, or you are playing both sides of it like Omar does. So he's telling Donald, well, you know, the Dolphins have 29 players that are not going to be under contract next year. They're going to be free agents. And, you know, they got to pay a lot of salaries. And you know what's going to end up happening? They're going to have to pay the piper at one point. They're going to have to sacrifice. They're going to have to lose players because you have to pay. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why would you lose players, Omar? The cap is not real and all that. So I was laughing. If anybody, I think it was like 9:30, 9:20 or something. And listen to it. It's hilarious, dude. It's completely the opposite of what he says the cap is. And he says, oh, no, Dolphins are going to have to pay. They're going to lose players, this, that. Because, of course, it plays well to say something like that and add the drama to it. You know what I'm saying? To get, you guys goosed up, like I tell you. But it's hilarious, dude. When he says one moment the cap doesn't exist, it's false, it's whatever, and then the next, oh no, they're going to lose. They're going to have to purge players. They're going to have to be like the LA Rams, he said. Well, wait a minute. I thought the cap isn't real. So the LA Rams are just like that lady. They're choosing to sleep with the dead. That's all. The Rams are choosing to be in the dead and get rid of players because the cap's not real. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hilarious, dude.
So I'm driving at 8:30.
Joe Shad, by the way, will be taking over for Omar Kelly. So Joe Shad will join us. He'll be on Wednesdays, but this coming week, it'll be Tuesday. So the Essential Moving Experts, Miami Dolphins exchange with Joe Shad now instead of Omar Kelly. So Joe Shad is back on the platform. Omar Kelly will go to QAM for a couple of months, to broadcast QAM for a couple of months, and then come back to us. Yes.
I'm driving here at 8:30, and they're talking the Heat, which is why when you brought up what you said, I thought you were talking about Omar.
Yeah.
Because his suggestion was, he said to Dono, and they were like, what about somebody that nobody's really talked about? And he brought up Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I almost slashed
not his
strong
suit. Not his strong
and
suit. Yeah. Not his strong suit. No. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? Big O. Women always say, hey, I tried the old guy. Young guys are much faster, stronger. And hey, they are 60-minute men, baby. Little late to the party, but did you see TMZ leaked the video on Conor? Yeah, I saw it. And guess what? Conor looks good in the video. She said they dragged her in there. She went on her own, dude. And then apparently took a selfie later on with him. That video helps Conor. And listen, I'm the last person in the world to defend Conor McGregor. But I'm objective. I call it like I see it. And, I don't know what really happened or whatever, but if I'm guessing here, she's a complete liar. Okay? She said she got dragged in, bro. He went right out there to her. They spoke. She gave him his hand. She got him right into the bathroom. I saw the video. He goes right into the bathroom. She went in there happily. There was no fighting. There was no pullback. She knew she was going into a bathroom with another man. So, doesn't look good for her, actually. And listen, once I read that story, she's already asking for a settlement before going to court. That's all I need to know. If you were really assaulted, you want jail and money. Real victims. I'm just saying, a real victim. Real victim.
There's a reason that video got leaked, right?
Yeah, that's right, because the Heat. That's a great thing. The NBA. God damn it, dude. Wow. He is on target.
Well, I go back to the Michael Irvin thing, right? We never saw the video forever or whatever.
Yeah,
and because
Marriott didn't want to release it because it's bad look for them.
If it's a bad look, it would not have gotten.
Right. Whoa. That's it. That is even worse for her. So, yeah, I don't know. Because the way you kind of put it, I don't know if you were thinking something else. You know what I'm saying?
There's only the one video.
How's that?
There's only the one video, right? There's another one out there.
No, that's the only one I've seen. That's the only one I've seen. It's a terrible look for her. She looks exactly like a woman that knows what she's about to do. Because if you're going into a bathroom with another man, and they're going to give you private time, I remember once at the Senior Bowl, an NFL executive, I was at a bar and he went in with a woman, very famous NFL executive, and they all came out very disheveled after that and just blended into the crowd. And the entire crowd kind of knew what was going on. It's freaking hilarious. And the NFL executive didn't care that you knew what was going on. So yes, things that you see, bro. You know, I saw 2 NFL executives one night that were drunk at a Steak and Shake. And one of them, he was so drunk that when the woman walked up to take the order, she had these big, giant itties, and he squeezed the Charmin. And she lost it in the middle of the 2:30 in the morning. Cops and everything. And then it went by the wayside and it never made the news. I'm not reporting it because, you know, I mean, the shit I have seen, dude, things I can talk about in my 30 years, you know, but I would never do some of that stuff. I would, you know, but I've seen a lot of stuff, man. So yeah, that video does not look good on her. Definitely not. Let's see. So Omar going to QM, does that kill the no, I don't think so. I think they're still doing that one. Who wins the NBA wing eating contest? 1, cocaine fat Sean Kemp. 2, Jokic. 3, the second heaviest NBA starter last year, Zion. Patrick Beverly. I'm going to go with the skinny guy, Dougie Fresh. You didn't pick. I'm picking skinny guys here, bro. I'm not picking fat guys. Fat guys don't win eating contests. They just don't. I can't explain it. Somebody please explain it. Is Kobayashi fat? Is what's the other guy? What's the Chestnut? Is he fat? Is I don't know.
It's because they're timed contests. Fat guys enjoy food.
Yeah,
we can sit there all day and
all
eat.
day.
I'll eat 3,000 wings.
Right,
but I can't do it in 6 minutes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
it's a timed event. We're not good under pressure.
No. It's just one of those things. You guys like to sit and wait for your stomach to expand and then add more. It's a thing over time that big guys like you and me eat.
Yes.
That's what it is, because I do the same thing. Everybody does this. But like, I can't sit there and grab. Well, I really can't eat a lot anyways. By the way, kind of goes with the whole thing about being a fat guy that can't eat a lot in one sitting like that. There's no way I can do that. You know what I mean? So, Dougie Fresh, all kidding aside, I'm taking a skinny guy over any fat guy overall. But if I have to go with a fat guy, I'm going to go with Sean Kemp because, you know, everything's all numb. So he's not really feeling it while he's eating. That's it. What can I tell you? Okay.
Eat the bone and all.
As right? Pink Floyd would say, Sean Kemp is comfortably numb. So we would go that way. Okay. If gun to head, I got to pick somebody. There you go. Let's see. It's a money grab, but I think she'll get paid. I don't think she's going to get paid. I don't think she has any proof. She doesn't have any proof, dude. She lied. She already is backtracking on her story because she said they pulled her in there to the thing and locked her in there, and it doesn't look like that at all.
And he came out of like a handicap stall, and him and his bodyguard were in there.
Right? Yeah. So yeah. What else do we have? You gotta savor the moment. Exactly. That's what us fat people do. We savor, the food. It's just kind of the way it is. Give me the skinny Tyler Hero and Nikola Jovic to win the eating contest. I got to go Nikola there because I think Tyler Hero would break his hands in the middle of an eating contest. He would get injured in an eating contest. So he's kind of flimsy there.
Although Jovic put on some weight.
20 pounds.
Yeah. Jeez.
20 pounds. That's good. That's good. I mean, he's got the frame, so he can add the weight. And listen, you led me to something that I wanted to talk about. So this is the off season where you might lose Vincent, right? You might lose Strus, right? Maybe you trade Duncan, maybe you trade Tyler. You're going to trade some players. You're going to lose some players. And I want to remind you, you lost Isaac Austin and you've lost guys over the years that you've developed, Derek Jones Jr., that was a guy that, and after he left here, kind of like a lot of the Heat players, they don't play as well here as they do. They play better here than they do when they leave here. Usually Isaac Austin was the same thing. It's been like that for decades now. Okay. It's been going on forever. So you're going to end up losing guys. But what do? They go and find somebody else. Even one year, they went and got James Johnson and had him play the best basketball ever in his career. And Hassan Whiteside was a loser, and he's still a loser, but they got that loser to play the best basketball he can possibly play here, right? Tyler Johnson probably played the best basketball, which I never thought he deserved the contract, but whatever. He still did better here than he did in New Jersey, right? You just mentioned it. Jovic. Yo, bitch, he's coming. That kid's going to be a player. They're going to make something out of him. And guess who also they're going to make something out of, which they did already? Highsmith. I expect them to replace these guys and find somebody else. And if it's not Jason Capono, it'll be somebody else. This is what they do. They do this all the time. And I wouldn't be surprised outside of Jovic and Highsmith, they find somebody else in the summer league that we're like, who the hell is this? So this might be an offseason where you might lose some of the guys that you develop. But do not panic in that sense. They can find those guys. The bigger mission is to trade for a star. That's the bigger mission. But the fact that you've got guys like Highsmith and Jovic waiting, and Highsmith already has given you a taste that you're like, you know what? I want to see that guy play a whole year now. I want to see him come out and help this team out because he can hit threes. He can play defense. He can play inside. He's got toughness. He's super mature. The Jovic kid clearly is dedicated. He's put on 20 pounds of muscle, so he needed that in his body. And he's got skills. If you watched him, he was fun to watch, actually. He's got a skill set to him, but he's too skinny. He's got to develop that body. So don't panic in that sense. Okay? I know it might suck to lose some of these guys, but in the end, you got to feel great because the Miami Heat are always kind of playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers, and they're working on their future in the process. And Highsmith and Jovic may be a part of those kind of role players that take over for some of the guys that you may end up losing. And if you lose Gabe and you get Dane, well, then now you replace that point guard. You know what I'm saying? So at least you don't lose that. And if you lose Tyler or you lose Strus, well, then Highsmith can, step in. You know what I'm saying? Jovic will add size, by the way. Isn't he like 6'8" or 6'9"? I want to say. So he can be a rebounder too, which is something that you need. He can play power forward, in this league. Small forward, power forward is probably what he is. And that'll be pretty cool too. So remember, yes, there's a chase for the star, and Riley better get him this offseason. Not that there's anything on the line. I'm just saying he better get him because, it's coming to an end, the Jimmy Butler run in the next couple years here. You better get him that star. But the beauty is, there's a couple of guys waiting in the wings that I think will be some of the guys that we're going to be talking about. And the rest of the NBA, we'll talk about the drafted and undrafted player that is making an impact for the Miami Heat.
And I think another player, Big O the second.
Oh,
we
Robinson.
interviewed him. Yes.
Orlando Robinson.
I think he could be a factor in some.
Yeah, he might be a backup center, help you out. Yeah. Rebounding, stuff like that. He's a tough kid, gutsy kid. I like him. Cool too, by the way.
Because I think Yurt 7. Somebody's asking what about Yurt 7. I think he's gone.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
Just but from his thought, just from when he was asked, what is the biggest thing about your contract next season? He said playing time.
Yeah.
He's probably not getting much playing time here,
I don't
unless
know.
they change the offense.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that you're saving that maybe there's some hope for him. He's got to show me offensive skills.
Yeah.
And then that'll, because he can rebound. He can definitely
That
rebound.
he can do.
But he's also got to stay healthy too. And early on he's already suffered some injuries. So we'll see about him. I'm not exactly sure about him and his future. But the other two guys, I like those two guys for sure. I do like your saving just not offensive game yet. He's only 6'11". He was standing next to his countryman, and they were about even. He's about. Oh, that's right. He grew. That's right. He grew. I forgot. He did grow a couple of inches. They said. Yeah. That's right. He's still growing. That's right. The kid's got. He's got the body, and he's got skills. And then these people will get you. You're the best out of you if you're willing to work at it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing heat-wise that I wanted to talk about a little bit and share with you guys there. Did you hear about Deion Sanders, dude? He might have his foot amputated. Jesus, apparently he already lost a second toe. And then apparently the blood flow is kind of being cut off to the foot. And so, and he's like talking about like, all right, if I'm going to get it done, I got to get it done now during the off season. I won't have any time during the regular season. And you're like, bro, you're about to lose your foot, man. And I'm thinking about this. This is arguably the greatest cover corner in the history of the NFL. A guy that made his living with that foot. And you talk about like Deion Sanders, dude. And some of you are too young. You didn't watch it. You have to go see highlights. But as a returner, as a corner, this is one of the great talents we've ever seen in this league. And I always say cover corner because obviously he wasn't necessarily a hitter and a tackler. That wasn't his thing. But his skill was sick. Like you would put him out on an island and whatever receiver was there, that guy was going to have a terrible day 99.9% of the time. Rarely were you going to have, a lot of success against Deion Sanders. In fact, rarely did quarterbacks just go test Deion Sanders because it was just stupid. Period. And to think that poor man is about to lose part of what made him so freaking special was those feet. Because that was fast. That was talent. That was magical. That was electrifying. I mean, you can use endless amounts of adjectives to describe the greatness of Deion Sanders, the player, and how much he meant to any football team that he played. I don't care about the hype. I don't care about Neon Deion and him having fun and get me paid and all that. He deserved all of that because he brought more than that when it was all said. He wasn't the guy that was talking crap and not backing it up. He's the guy that talked the crap if he wanted to, and then he backed it up tenfold. Because you got to go to Darryl Green. There's just very few corners in the history of the NFL that when it comes to just blanketing a number one wide receiver and taking him out of a game and just eliminating a portion of the field that your defense is so freed up, it's one of the great players. And to think that what he's about to lose is part of what made him so magical, it's sad. It's sad because, Michael still talks shit like he can play and he'll dunk. And, Dr. J every once in a while will come out at 60 and dunk and show you. And you know what I mean? And they always want to have that feeling that they can do a little bit of what they used to be. Darryl Green will still run a 40 and 4.5 and he's in his high 50s, I think, or 60 or something, and Deion would be the same guy. Deion should be the guy with a healthy foot, actually running with D-backs and teaching them and having some fun with them and using the skill set, the God-given ability that the Lord gave him. And he said, yeah, let me take that and let me maximize it. And look at him. He's maximized it as a player. Now he's maximized it as a coach. He's helped assistant coaches. He's helping kids. He's helping kids get NIL. He's doing a lot of selfless stuff. Okay? As much as Deion Sanders was, labeled about Deion Sanders back in the day with the bling and all that stuff, he's all about others, not himself now. Okay? He's about his coaches. He's about his players. It's not about me now. He's about going to Jackson State and bringing a bunch of money to that program and helping them and lift them. And now going to Colorado and helping them lift them because they're a down program. There's a lot of give from Deion Sanders. I don't think people talk enough about this, man. You know what I mean? And I think it also would hurt him a little bit was that he was so, the bravado that he brought to the table. But I don't mind the bravado if you're Reggie Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind if you have bravado and you're Michael Jordan. You can do whatever the hell you want, dude. You back it up. What we can't stand is the guy that talks the talk but can't walk the walk. That's the part that's unacceptable. But Deion Sanders has walked the walk every day of his life as a player and now as a coach. And to hear about that, I'm sad for him, man. I'm sad that he doesn't really get to do all the things he wants to do as a coach, because I think one of those things that he would have still loved to do is run around the field a little bit and get that vibe out there, even though he's not a player, but that moment that he'll get to connect a little extra with his players, and he can't do it now, and he certainly won't be able to do it if they amputate his foot, obviously, because he's not in the position to do it. But prayers to Deion Sanders and congratulations to him and the way he's grown and helped a lot of people.
And also, I think his gift of gab helps him with, especially today's, just
he gets it.
He gets it, and then also the fact that, again, I know, some people may not have remembered him, but most of the players that are watching him probably know who Deion Sanders is,
maybe,
and what he did.
Right,
but also one of the things
that their parents will tell them, like the dad or the brother or the uncle say, that's one of the baddest mofos in the history of the game. You better listen to that guy.
And one of the things you said when you were talking with Cam, and I gave you the thing about how good athletes are if they could play baseball.
There you go.
They would. Deion's one of them.
Deion's one of them. Right.
I think Bo, and I think that's
the St. Louis guy, Brian Jordan.
Oh yes, Brian Jordan. You're right.
Was a safety for the Falcons, and then he was actually the best player out of the three in baseball.
Yeah, in baseball. Yeah.
Yeah. Bo could have been a little better without the hip. Yep. If he didn't get the hip injury, Bo would have been, because of the power numbers would have been just amazing for Bo. But yeah, just. I saw a Deion Sanders story, and I feel terrible for him. I really do. By the way, I missed a True Fin fan Animal Planet section with Cam. LOL. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. And remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. What else? As we get ready for hour number 3 of the program, ready to go. Quick 30-second break here, and David Dwork joins us to talk a little Panthers next.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
For For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We promised you that my man David Dwork would be kind enough to join us, Chirping the Cats podcast, and of course WPLG covering the Cats. You know, I know that they lost, and thank you for joining us, but I don't feel sorry for you because you were in Vegas, baby. Vegas. Was Vegas fun?
Yeah, no, Vegas is. It was as fun as it could be for what?
You're married.
36
You don't
hours,
want,
however
you
long
don't
I
want
was
to admit how much fun you had, huh? Is that what it is now? You're at home. The wife might be hanging around. You don't want to tell us about all the fun you had in Vegas?
No, the wife is actually out of town. The house is dead silent right now, and it's
So
amazing.
the fun will be tonight at your house. Oh, party at the Dworksters. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll bring the hookers.
Oh,
right.
God, Big O. Thank goodness there's no chance my wife is watching this. No, Vegas was fun, man. You know how it is. I mean, it was a quick trip. We went out after the game. That was the advantage of the game being a 5:00 local start in Vegas, because by the time, even after everything was over, it was still not very late. So we were able to.
That's my prediction for the A's, by the way. I think baseball is going to be like that too. Remember, the Cubs did baseball for 100 years without lights in Wrigley.
Yeah.
And so I bet you the A's, when they get to Vegas, all their games will be at 4 or 5 o'clock. So that way you're done with a baseball game. You can still go have dinner. You can go see a show. You can go see a concert. You can go to the casinos and spend money. And I bet you that most of the baseball games will be around that time instead of 7 or 8 o'clock, because if you do it at 7 or 8 o'clock, by the time you get out of the baseball game, you're probably not going to spend the same kind of money or do anything. So I bet you baseball games are going to be just like that early. Watch.
Yeah, we drove by the site where I guess they're looking to build the Ace Stadium, which is right, maybe stone's throw from where the hockey arena is. It's right up whatever Tropicana Avenue or whatever that road is.
Yeah.
No, my driver was like, "Oh yeah, this is where the baseball stadium's gonna go."
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. The injuries were, my God, dude. I mean, Aaron Ekblad. How are you? And how does Tkachuk get back out there on the ice for 19 minutes with a broken clavicle and score a goal, right? And didn't he score a goal? I mean,
yeah,
that's just stupid, dude. I mean, we talk about, what's that? Load management in the NBA and all that kind of crap. And then we watch hockey players, dude. And it is not, dude, Aaron Ekblad cleared, or was it Tkachuk? Which one of them cleared a concussion protocol and everything that we didn't even know about? That's nuts. Ekblad. God bless, dude. Seriously.
Well, Tkachuk also, he had to clear concussion protocol. They both did, actually.
Okay. So look at that. I mean, dude, I remember covering hockey years ago where Dvorak had like we get that thing in between the periods, and we're sitting there, and it's bruised jaw, broken nose, lacerated eye, probable return. Like, what?
Yeah, man.
And there he is back on the ice. You're like, what the hell is this? What are you doing? And then we see Tkachuk, and I couldn't get out of bed with a broken clavicle, dude. I mean, the players were dressing him in the locker room and stuff like that. This is nuts what was going on with Tkachuk.
Dude, it's the Stanley Cup. I mean, I think
know.
this is kind of the expectation that at least with this team, right? Because we heard all playoff long how loose they were and how they were just really enjoying it. But at the same time, they were able to be just locked in and appreciate the moment that they were in. So, yeah, that's not surprising at all, just because it's your whole monologue just now. It's what hockey players are. It's how they're built. They're wired differently. It's just, and it's not like a macho thing. They're not out there to prove how tough they are. They want to get out there and play the game and win. Like, they'll go out there in the Stanley Cup Final and, get their face cracked open, get 40 stitches and go out there, but they'll do the same thing in December 12th.
Right.
That's just how these guys are. And the Panthers, the way that Bill Zito built his locker room, it's all high character guys. Everybody out there is, if they got a broken bone, if they can bear it out, they'll be on the ice helping their team.
Yeah, Radko Gudas, bro. High ankle sprain.
Yeah.
How do you
Aaron Ekblad broke his foot the second game of the playoffs.
Yeah. How do you skate with a high ankle sprain, dude? No. No. How do you cut? How do you? No. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, no. God bless, man. That is just. Now, let me ask you, because this is what I'm feeling, but you know more than I do on this. When last year they had one style and then they changed it, and it took them forever to kind of figure things out. And it looks like they finally figured it out towards the end. Plus the goalie helped, and Alex was playing well, and then Bob got on his role. Obviously that helps. But overall, it looked like they started playing and mastering whatever it is that Paul Maurice installed in there. But I'm feeling better for next year because now there is no change. And I figured you kind of made your transition now. So I'm hoping for a much stronger start next year, as long as you can get some consistency at the goalie spot, because that's still a major question mark. Even though Bob got on a streak, there still isn't enough consistency at that spot to make me feel good. So your thoughts on that?
Well, I would also caveat just with, we don't know exactly how healthy they're going to be when the season starts next year either. There could be some lingering effects from some of the injuries that were suffered now that could, cause a little bumpy road early in the year. We don't know for sure. Aaron Ekblad said that he's probably not going to be there for the start of training camp, at least.
Yeah, if they would have been eliminated from the playoffs, then he would, and they were injured, then if they never went through the playoff run, maybe we get those guys back. But because it's now middle of June and all those injuries, you're right. That shit's going to drag right into the regular season. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then also the goaltending, that's always the caveat, that we need the goaltending to be what it was in the playoffs. That's what they need to succeed at that level. But in terms of the way that they switched styles this year and how it took a while for players to not just understand the X's and O's of it, but the level of effort and intensity that goes into it, and why that they have to push that hard. I think when it all came together in the playoffs, and you've heard just countless guys talking about it, how we figured it out, it worked, now we're rolling, they say all those right cliche things about the style, and it's true. So yeah, that now you go into a new season where you know what you need to be, where you need to be, and now you can get into the details and the different little tricks and trades that Paul Maurice can show these guys. Like, now that you know where you're supposed to be, I can show you, these variants, these different options, and I think you're going to see, hopefully, a more cohesive unit throughout the year. Because look, the regular season is a grind, and these guys know look what they had to go through just to get in the playoffs this year. But it should be an easier situation next year. And then it also, just in terms of like the depth of the team, they should have a little bit more ability to survive injuries, just because they should be deeper based off Bill Zito should be able to bring in a few extra guys with the cap space that they're going to have this offseason.
Yeah,
So
I want to get to that too with you. Let me ask you something on, they had big dudes, bro. Like, do we need to get bigger, more athletic in defense, especially because there were some big ass dudes on that Vegas side that it just seems like they were mauling us at times. You know, the Panthers tried to be physical, and then Vegas said, no, we'll show you what physical is. And then they got more physical. And I think they beat up the Panthers when it was all said and done. Do we need to get bigger and more physical?
I don't know if it's a matter of needing bigger defensemen. I think Florida just got worn down in their forward ranks, you know, losing guys. You know, Tkachuk gets hurt in the series. Nick Cousins was apparently banged up. You know, Lusterinen didn't even play in the final.
Yeah, Listerine. Yeah, he was out, bro.
So
Yeah,
I think
was out.
that had, I think, a lot to do with it. I mean, Vegas, look, they flexed their muscle where they needed to defensively, but you know, in terms of like their size, they cut that middle of the ice in the defensive zone out, and it was difficult for Florida to adjust to that because, particularly on the power play, so much of their offense drives through the middle. But I do think if you had that depth, that was really something that was their strength throughout the first 3 rounds. It was almost like cutting one of their legs out in the final. And when you combine that with Vegas's muscle and size on D, I think that was, you know, a big contributing factor to their downfall.
All right, so now I'll follow up with what you were touching on. So lead me to free agency now. They do get some cap relief now, so they'll have some money to play with. Where do you expect them to use that kind of money?
I mean, we've seen over the years that Bill Zito and his guys do covet defensemen, so I would expect there to be at least, whether it's a high-end defenseman or a couple of really solid middle pairing type guys, just to recoup that depth. Because Mark Stahl is a free agent; he's probably not coming back, just based off his age and performance this year.
See ya. Later. Okay, I'm sorry.
And beyond that, I mean, they've got a lot of guys coming back on their defense. You know, Ekblad, Montour, Forsling, Josh Mahura, they're all going to be back next season. You'd like to see them re-sign Radko Gudas, who said he wants to stay in Florida to a reasonable deal, which they, you would hope that they can come to a good, middle ground in those negotiations.
Fear the beard, baby. Fear the beard.
But I really think the forward depth is vital to being a successful team that's going to go on a long playoff run. And in that regard, I think based off Bill Zito's track record and the way he's been able to find guys kind of on the cheap and have it work out, whether it's like a Verhage or a Duclair, those type of players, middle six kind of guys. I mean, even Nick Cousins, who he signed to a 2-year deal, look how great he was on a second line role for much of the playoffs. So I would think that that's where Bill Zito's going to go with it, and we'll see how it plays out. But the Panthers, at the end of next season, once they get through whatever the injuries they're going to have to deal with at the beginning, they should be a better team next year than they were this year.
Is the Vegas Golden Knights the greatest expansion team in all of pro sports?
It's hard to argue otherwise at this point. I mean,
I'm trying to think of another
the Arizona
one,
Diamondbacks.
Did they go to 2 World Series and win one of them in the first 4 years of their existence? Right? They've been around 4 years, Series. Right? Is it 4 years? 4 or 5? What is it? 4, right?
Vegas?
Yeah.
Vegas is 6.
6. Okay, 6. So how many playoff trips do they have now in 6?
5. They only missed the playoffs once.
5. And
conference final 4
finals,
times.
A conference final, and 1 title. I don't think the D-backs did that. Not in their first 6 years.
No, I don't think it's close. I think Vegas has, they got lucky. They beat the odds. They came up with, they hit 7.
No, it can't be luck anymore. We can't call it luck, bro. You can't do it all these years. You can't. They know their shit, dude. You have to give them credit. They've been relevant from day one in this league. It can't be luck anymore, David. You have to give them
there's a certain element. Well, look at the playoffs. Like, the luck element has to be like Aiden Hill.
Sure.
Are you expecting your number 3 goaltender to play like that?
Well, Alex Lyon got he's, what is he, third or fourth string, if you want to call him, pretty much. And he got you into the playoffs too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sometimes you need a couple breaks. That I get that, but you don't have those breaks for 6 straight years of being, a really good franchise. I'm so impressed with what they did. And the follow-up that I'll ask you, can you remind me why Dale Talon's dumbass allowed Marcia Salt out of here? I forgot now.
I believe the expectation was that they, in the expansion draft, wanted to protect 4 defensemen. They wanted to protect Alex, was it Petrovic, in addition to the other guys who was Ekblad, and I don't remember the exact 4 guys. And because you could either do like 7 forwards, 3 defensemen and a goalie, or 4 and 4, like 4 forwards and 4 defensemen and a goalie. And they wanted the 4D. And so they made the deal with Vegas that they'd leave Marchessault exposed in the expansion draft so they could take him. And then Vegas took Riley Smith and his contract that Dale Talon didn't want to keep. That was from the previous
That's fine.
front office regime.
I don't have a problem with Riley Smith, but Marchessault is the one, dude, the whole playoffs. That guy, every moment you needed a big goal, he was there for Vegas, pretty much. He's
been great year in and year out for them. A 30-goal guy, like just.
Yeah. God, man, impressive. I got to say, big time impressive. By the way, for you personally, because I don't think we've seen one since maybe Pavel Bure. And so how fun was it to have like a legit flat out superstar in the locker room in Tkachuk? How was that experience? What'd you see from the players? How did it lift that locker room? All those kind of things, having a guy like Tkachuk there.
Yeah, he's like the best kind of superstar because like he's still like humble and a great teammate and, very team first, not me first kind of guy. But he'll go out there and kick your ass on the ice in every way that you can, whether it's scoring goals and beating you on the scoreboard or like literally kicking your ass and putting you on your ass. Like it's
like Nikola Jokic.
Defend his teammates.
Like Nikola Jokic, like he'll do the same thing. And then if you want to mess with him, Markieff, well, then we'll bust your neck in half and you'll be out of the league. There you go. So, yeah, just like that. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, no, he was a perfect find for this team. He helped them be tougher and grittier. And, we saw like how impactful he was on that playoff run with the game-winning goals and, the attention that he drew from the opposition. It was just the latest in, another home run streak by Bill Zito in terms of the moves he's made for this team.
I know we have Yager here, and obviously Barkov is a hell of a player, but Bore may be the last one that was as electrifying as this guy. Now, this guy's even better than Bore because he does, like you said, he does it all. I don't think Pavel was considered that, but man, the one more thing I will say about Tkachuk. I know you're not going to take this out of him. This is who he is. So, and by the way, that's the whole family. That's kind of the way his dad was too and all that. But because of his physical nature and considering he's so important offensively as a superstar, does he end up hurting himself being so physical because he ends up putting a bigger target on his body? And so he'll create more frustrations on people by doing whatever he's doing, being a gnat or being physical or scoring. And then there's more anger to try to get revenge on him. So does his style of play, I know you can't stop it, but does it kind of hurt him too in the process because he might take extra shots and people might be looking out for him more because he puts himself out there, bro?
Yeah, I mean, that's always a casualty of playing that style and being, towing that line. I think with Tkachuk, he's such a smart young player that as he evolves as a hockey player, I would expect him to find the balance of how hard to push and not necessarily go over the line as he gets older and more mature and understands hockey. He's a smart guy. He's got great mentors, whether it's his dad, his brother who plays in the league, or just, he's in a great hockey family.
His dad was a monster, bro. Please. His dad was a badass in this league. Shit.
Yeah. One of the best American hockey players of all time. No doubt. He's such a smart and self-aware kind of player, and he doesn't want to hurt his team. I would think just as he matures, that his game will level out a bit, and he'll take it to that point when he needs to, but not necessarily like a reflex. Like, you see a scrum behind the net and you get your face in there and you do whatever you need to. You're causing the other team's goalies mask to come off and, going through when it's necessary. Yeah. But I just don't see him being a guy where like he's 30 years old in the playoffs and he's still acting like a 25-year-old.
Okay.
He's
All
too
right.
good.
Okay. One more thing before I let you go. The goalie. I know what's 3 more years left on Bob's massive deal, right? Correct? Am I right on that?
Correct.
3? Okay,
7
so
years.
they're stuck with him. You have your ups and downs with him. Now, Knight obviously has had some issues. What do you do about goaltending? Do you try to find somebody else just in case? How comfortable are you going into the season with these 2 goalies in mind for the 23-24 season?
I think in terms of depth, like that theory has been proved with, you mentioned Alex Lyon, like how important it is to have a third goalie that you can count on because you don't know what may happen during the season. I think the expectation as of right now is that Sergei Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight will be your goalies when you go to the season next year. I believe that's where the front office views their goaltending situation to be. The question is, how big of an insurance policy do you want to take out? Because July 1st is right around the corner. The season just ended, but free agency is starting in less than 2 weeks. Right. And that's something that they're going to have to address. Alex Lyon's a UFA, so he's gone. Well, he's not gone, but he's not tied in. They're going to have to spend some money to re-sign him. This is a guy who just proved he's got some worth at the NHL level. He's probably going to be looking for a one-way deal. So one way or another, Bill Zito and his staff are going to have a decision to make on their goaltending, and they're going to have to make it soon. And I think when you see what they do in free agency in terms of how they approach goaltending, that will show you the confidence level that they have in Bob and Knight moving into the season.
In a follow-up unfair question, what do we know about Spencer Knight and his progress off the ice? And obviously the young man was dealing with his own issues. Do we know what kind of progress? Do they feel comfortable with him moving forward? What do we know?
From what I've been told, he did well in the program that he was going into. He did it up north at home in Connecticut. He's been through the program. He's doing well. We saw that he was out with some of his hockey friends at the Belmont Stakes, which some people didn't like that for whatever reason. I think being out with friends doing something is a wonderful, healthy thing.
Very important.
Any young man would want to do.
And
I think that's a great sign for Spencer Knight.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's where they're at right now. And I think once we get through the off season and they get a little bit more zeroed in on what's going on, they'll touch base with Spencer a little bit closer. But yeah, hopefully, Spencer's feeling good. I don't want to assume anything based off of one photo, but hopefully that's an indication that he's healthy and happy and ready to this. It's not like he doesn't want to get back to his career. Like, Spencer Knight loves to play hockey. He's a hockey nerd. He's a rink, what do they call it? Gym rat, rink rat, whatever you want to call it. Like, he's that guy. He loves hockey and he loves goaltending. And would think that he's, anxious to get back out there after watching his team do what they just did. He wants to be a part of that, just like anybody would. So hopefully that's where he's at and the team is at, and that everybody's happy and healthy. And, we're ready to see Spencer resume his career come this fall.
Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork. David, what do you got going on? Chirping the Cats and Channel 10.
Lately, man, most of my work's been going on to the Hockey News. That's where most of my
Hockey News. That's right. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes.
So right now, that's where everything is cooking, and been churning out a lot of content. I've got some stuff coming up for the rest of the week based off of some exit day interviews that we did yesterday at the arena. And yeah, man, that's what's been cooking.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork. David, appreciate you, my brother. Happy Father's Day to you, sir. And we will catch up down the line, my friend. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
You got it, baby. There you go. David Dwork, good stuff as always. Love David, man. Does excellent work there. Check out, please subscribe also to his podcast, Chirping the Cats, and check out his work there at the Hockey News. Welt and Rheaume, a proud sponsor of our program. We love Welt and Rheaume. Their offices are in Hollywood. Wherever you live, folks, consultation is free. If you're dealing with bankruptcy issues, if you're dealing with property damage like we did, we had some kids go through the wall of our house, and it was a disaster. They thought they were Fast and Furious. Progressive was dragging their feet. I told my wife, hey, let's call the lawyers. She said, no, I can take care of it. What can I do, right? I'm not going to fight the wife. There are certain battles and certain wars you take on. Some you just say, all right, honey, go ahead. She did it. She got the runaround from Progressive. I said, pump the brakes. You had your chance, right? That's it. I told you to call the lawyer first. Don't make the mistake that my wife did. Don't think that you know more than the insurance company. They're going to run circles around you because you and I don't know all the rules and all the laws and all the loopholes. They do. That's why they take advantage of you. They love collecting your premium. They hate paying the cost the cost to bring everything back to normal. So make sure you call the lawyers because they brought Progressive to their knees. Welton Rayom will do the same. So if you're dealing with homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, got hurt at a shopping center, a car accident, please call Welton Rayom. Explain the situation. The consultation's free. They'll tell you if you have a case, and they'll take it. You may not even have to walk into the office unless at the end to pick up a check. 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. All right. So Hard Knocks is looking for a team. They wanted the Lions again, and apparently the Lions said no. And so now they are looking at the Bears, Saints, Washington, and Jets. Who wants to see Hard Knock with the Saints? Nobody. Who wants to see Hard Knock with Washington? Nobody. The Bears are kind of interesting, right? Because you got a young quarterback there. Maybe we'll see if he can, turn the corner. He's got some talent. That one might be a little interesting. The Jets are the ones, And Aaron Rodgers is already complaining about practice and everything. They haven't put enough around me or something like that. You saw that quote?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Same thing he said about Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
Nobody ever puts enough around him.
He came out with a quote like, really already, dude?
How interesting did you hear about the him vetoing New England?
No, what happened? What?
I guess the New England Patriots had put in a
bid,
and he vetoed them. I don't going to New England.
Him and Belichick would not. No.
I saw what they did to Brady. I ain't going there.
Yeah, no, he's not going there. No. But it shows also how desperate the Patriots are. It's what I talked about the other day. That the amount of free agency buying that the Patriots are doing now is awesome for us. It shows how it's crumbling. And mark my words, after this shitty season for the Patriots, you're going to hear that Belichick's on the hot seat the following year. And if he has a shitty year this year and a shitty year next year, I bet you anything that dude fires Belichick. Or he steps down, mutual, whatever. I don't give a crap, however they want to label it. But if Belichick comes up with two more weak-ass years and no playoffs, that the old man's going to make a move because he's up in years. And he's going to say, yeah, man, it's over. You had your run. You did it. You run it. Tom Landry ran out of gas. You run out of gas. Chuck Noll ran out of gas. You ran out of gas. Don Shula ran out of gas. You ran out of gas. Just happens. Greg Popovich ran out of gas. It happens. So that's kind of interesting. And, by the way, send Poopar a link. My bad. But the Jets would be good only because of what? The soap opera it would be with Aaron Rodgers. So I'm kind of hoping that they pick the Jets, and I'm hoping the Jets accept it, although their coach doesn't look like the kind of guy that would like Hard Knocks. Salah, I like him, actually. I hate to say something that I like about the Jets, but I'm objective. You know that. I don't care. I don't root for the Jets at all, but I think the Salah hire looks like a pretty good hire, man. He's I was impressed with him last year, I have to say. I got to give him props. Okay, when somebody does something well, you got to give him love, dude. That's just the way it is. It's what he deserves. He deserves his flowers, as you kiddies would like to say. Okay. But I guess Bears to a lesser extent, but the Jets would be the one. And I can understand. By the way, if the Lions did it again, it would be really good television because after all the hype and it was a great Hard Knocks last year, they went on to finally have a good season, and they're kind of set to have another good season this year. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't believe in Dan the Man. You guys know it. The raw stuff. I've seen that fail over and over again. I told you, substance. We'll see if he can do it this year. This will be the year. Kind of like the Jalen Hurts thing. Same thing. Jalen broke through, and I give him lots of props for improving his passing. But he's going to have to do it again this year to kind of like say, I've arrived. Because you got to do it that second year. You know what I mean? And the same thing for Campbell. You got to do it. You got to come back. Everybody can have a freak year. All pro athletes can have a freak year, a freak month, a freak week, a freak year. It's the ones that can do it over and over again. That's when you've kind of proven that you've really broken through, because once they get a whole year of tape on you and the year you had success, they find out why you had success. And then they try to take away anything and everything they think will make you fail. And then you have to then counterpunch with that. And that's when you prove that second year. So the Lions are going to go through it with Dan Campbell. And I think Jalen Hurts has to go through it also with the Philadelphia Eagles. So kind of interesting there. All right, we got him. Let's go, baby, with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
Let's rock and roll. Yeah, a little Chick-fil-A in the house. There we go. That's a drug. That's what that is. Chick-fil-A is a drug. I don't know what they put in that chicken sandwich, but it's like crack, all right? We're all like Pookie going to the Enterprise and getting high. That's exactly what we're doing with all of us at Chick-fil-A. I don't know what they're doing. They're putting some in that chicken. Alan Poupart's ready to join us. He loves his Chick-fil-A and his Montreal Expos hat, correct?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Although you can have a little Hortons, right? It's all right with you, a little Hortons, right? Donuts?
No, to me, it's the Hortons coffee.
Well, of course.
Every
you go for
morning.
the coffee. That's what everybody loves. I'm the guy that loves their glazed donuts, actually.
I like the Timbits, too.
Well, there you go. See? There. By the way, why don't you talk to them about, putting a couple of locations
I know.
here, bro.
I know.
Jesus. I mean, that's a crime, bro. Do they know that we have Canadians down here, by the way? Do they know that?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I can get my coffee pods through the mail. It's always a great day when that box arrives, and get my 2-3 cups of coffee every day. That would be a good idea.
Right.
Sign me up for that.
We need an In-N-Out burger and a Hortons down here in South Florida, folks.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
Let's go. Work it out already. Damn it. I was talking with Cam about this, and I want to run it by you because it's interesting that the Dalvin Cook stuff, which we've talked about for months now and all this stuff, and it's over talked. And then the other subject that we've talked about that we've kind of tried to, try to educate the public because, we have so many people are done. You got to sign Dalvin Cook. And they're not in a hurry, and neither is the entire league for running backs. It doesn't matter if you're Derrick Henry, and it doesn't matter if you're Saquon Barkley or if you're Austin Eckler or if you're Dalvin Cook. There are so many running backs available that you can have them. You could try to trade for them. The guy from the Raiders, what's his name?
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs again. And, we don't talk about this, but there's a guy that's available in free agency. And he's there, and nobody has signed him in Kareem Hunt. And it's funny because he's a damn good back. He's fresh because he's had the best seat in the house watching Nick Chubb run and dominate for the last 2 years. He doesn't have a lot of carries. Isn't it funny how that's a good running back that you can grab and probably at a very cheap rate It is amazing how disrespected that position is.
No question. A couple of things about Kareem Hunt, though, is from what I read, I think the Commanders may be in line.
Right, yeah. Well, but that's Josino reporting. I don't know about that.
Okay. Okay, your obligatory shrug there. That's
Yes.
fine. Also, I didn't study his game all that much last year, and I don't think he played very much against the Dolphins. It was mostly Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
From what I heard or read was he's not the explosive guy he used to be earlier in his career, and there's a little bit of baggage there if we're going to be honest about it. So, and again, overall the position is completely devalued, which is what makes what the 49ers did last year very interesting, because this is a team that supposedly devalues running backs as in everybody.
Oh, no, but wait a minute. They don't pay a quarterback over there. And then they had Purdy. I understand what they were doing. They went off script because they said, we got a 7th-round pick at quarterback. Let's make life easy for him. We got a monster line. We got the receivers. We got the tight end. Let's go get him a back because we're not paying a quarterback. Even at that moment, Garoppolo signed for a 1-year, $7 million deal. So they had no money on quarterback. And so I think that's what they did in that case. They normally, if they had a $30 million quarterback in play, they would have never made that move.
I understand that, but you kind of broke me off before I was making the point that they went, as you said, yes, they went against script because that's the one organization that usually doesn't spend on running backs because their whole model is built around everything we do in the system is so good that any running back can succeed. They're the one team that saw the value and had the financial flexibility to get it done and bring in Christian McCaffrey. And the argument that could be made is Christian McCaffrey showed you, I mean, he was some kind of impactful for the 49ers, but because of the way that their offense is a lot more running back centric than a lot of other teams' offenses, including the Dolphins, which has to be one of the least running back centric offenses in the NFL. Just
by choice.
KC is extraordinarily kind of quarterback centric. Buffalo has been quarterback centric, but I think Buffalo is making a little bit of a move to get away from that because they're putting too much on Josh Allen. And the guy's going to get beat up and be done in 3 years. It's too much him. There's no balance. And there are times when push comes to shove, they need something else, and they don't have it, which is why they signed Damian Harris in the offseason, who was a really good pickup, to go along with James Cook. And Latavius Murray also they picked up.
No, I'm with you there. I know that they've got to get the running game going. I'm glad you said that. You led me to something. How bad is the situation with Buffalo? Because Stephon Diggs, what a petulant child, bro. Because for Josh Allen to say that it's on me when let me go by track record. Josh Allen is like the easiest going guy out there. Everybody loves Josh Allen, bro. Yeah. Fans love Josh. Opposing fans end up donating to Josh Allen causes, okay? Nobody dislikes Josh Allen. Yeah, as Dolphin fans, we may hate him on that day that he throws for 300 yards. But what I'm saying is, as a person, he's not a jerk. So, for him to bite the bullet and say, oh, it's on me, I love it as a leader because that's what he's doing. But it's sad that McDermott had to go out and add 400 statements about how much they support him and love him and all that. And it just seems like it's such a fragile situation with that guy. And I think that doesn't bode well for them. It looks like there's drama where there needs to be no drama whatsoever from this guy.
And in a lot of sports, I would tell you, who cares? It's two guys throwing a fit, whatever. But football being the way that it is, with chemistry being like a really big part of it, and for this to happen in minicamp, that sets a bad tone. And I think if McDermott had a do-over, I'm not sure he'd go with his "I'm very concerned" comment. He would have said something like, yeah, no, it's all good and all that, and kept it in house. And then he just put it out there. Right. The other thing with Stephon Diggs is he's high maintenance. I don't think going on a limb over there. He's also kind of reminds me in a sense of Jarvis Landry. The give a shit factor is very, very, very high. So that's good. That's really good for a team. Unfortunately, sometimes there's some immaturity that shows up and it creates a situation like what you have now. And Buffalo's a team. I mean, this is really, really, really talented team all over the place. But they don't need to have this kind of like crap coming up in minicamp. Maybe it gets smoothed out before training camp starts and it becomes a nothing burger, or it could become something that, hangs over them the entire season.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And that to me, I think it is going to be something that is going to hover over the entire football season, because this is kind of who he's been, dude. And I don't know what the hell he wants, to be quite honest, because he's got the money and he's got the targets. I don't know what the hell is actually going on. All right. The other thing, did you hear about Deion Sanders may have to get his foot amputated?
Yeah.
Dude, how sad is that, brother?
It's
I was just talking about this, that you've been at this for a long time, like I have, and Deion would be the guy that if he had a healthy foot, he'd be coaching his players and running around with the DBs. You know what I mean? And
let me show you how it's done.
Yeah, exactly. And for him to lose something that made him the great corner that he was, I mean, that has got to be so heartbreaking for him to not be able to be himself. Because, I was talking about this earlier. Darryl Green still likes to run a 4.4, 4.5 at 60 years old. And Dr. J will come out every once in a while and show you that he can still dunk at 63 or something. All these guys, Michael Jordan will act like he can still play and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And Deion would be the exact same dude if obviously he had a healthy foot. And the other thing, I want to commend the man, as much as he was about Neon Deion back in the day, he has been one of the more selfless people in his profession nowadays. And as a result, and everything he did for Jackson State and what he's doing for Colorado, what he's doing for kids, what he did for his entire coaching staff, getting them, better jobs in Colorado, all these kind of things. Tribute to him, how he's grown up as a person, because it was all flash and fun and all that, when he was young. But to see where he was and what he is now, I commend him a lot for what he's done, man. It's pretty amazing.
Well, I mean, certainly had like monstrous success. The guy knows his football. I'm not necessarily been a fan of his personality over the years, to be honest. He's a little bit too, as you mentioned, prime time. Deion, look at me, I'm great, I'm awesome, and all that. I don't know, maybe it's the Canadian in me who tends to be a little bit more reserved, more like Wayne Gretzky and Sidney Crosby. I'll let you guys talk about how great I am as opposed to telling you all the time.
Right. But
it's awful. It's awful.
But I don't mind if you tell me you're great and then you back it up. That's the part that's the part. If you're going to talk it, then walk it. You know what I mean? But as a coach, he hasn't been like that. I think he's done a marvelous job of helping a lot of people along the way, from Jackson State to Colorado. I commend them for that.
No, it's been great. But going back, I prefer the Barry Sanders approach to the Deion Sanders approach. I
get it. But considering where he was, what you might have think it might have led to, it didn't lead. You never thought it would lead to this. He's been a pure leader, and I give him credit for that. So what do you think happens with Hard Knocks, bro? They wanted Detroit. So Detroit said no, which, by the way, would have been really, really cool. But it's the Bears, it's Washington, it's the Jets, it's what was the other one? The Saints. What do you think?
I mean, the best one's obviously the Jets because of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's a slam dunk. And the bottom line is, and this is where the NFL is kind of in a pickle by contract, they can force it upon one of those four teams. Do you really want? It's obviously preferable to have a team that's like, okay, we'll do it and we'll be on board with it, as opposed to a team going in there like kicking and dragging. Hell, I'd love it. They brought it back down here. That actually kind of was semi-fun when they did it in 2012.
But some tells me, although he would be really good for them, McDaniel would be really good.
And he's not shy about putting himself out there. So, I mean.
Yeah. I guess obviously they're not required, right? Or something.
Correct.
After
They're
a
not
certain
required.
amount of years, you get a break, and then you're required again after a certain amount of time, right, or something like that. I don't know how it is.
I think the stipulation include you haven't done it for a long time. You haven't made the playoffs. I think if you make the playoffs, that removes a requirement.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Well, if you look at the 4 teams you mentioned, didn't make the playoffs last year.
Amen. I did not realize that. Okay.
So
Right. Okay.
I have no clue who it winds up being. Because usually they would have picked somebody by now. I mean, things starting in early August. I have less than no clue. It may be that they revisit a team that is now required to do it. And like I said, bring them down to Miami. I have no issue with that.
By the way, Sean gives me this. For those of you who aren't familiar with Hard Knocks formula, a team doesn't have to be on the show if any of the 3 rules below applies to them. They have a first-year head coach in place. They have a playoff berth in the past 2 seasons, and they have appeared on Hard Knocks in the past 10 years. Okay. All right. Wasn't Philbin a first-year coach?
He was, but they weren't required to do it.
They changed that rule after that, or did we
No.
We just accepted it. We wanted it.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if wanted it or they thought maybe
that was not a good decision.
It would bring some juice. No, but it was fun. It was entertaining, and
I don't enjoy watching my favorite team look like absolute jackasses. I get it. It's entertaining for the rest of the league and all that. Oh God, it was so cringe moments in that whole thing. You know, Vontae Davis.
I was going to say, which one was cringiest for you?
Isn't that the Ireland? We've got 3 4s and 5s. Yeah,
okay.
that was my cringiest moment. Like, yo, idiot, you're the one in charge, bro. You're the one supposed to get the receivers. Don't complain to Peter King that you got 3 4s and 5s, you idiot. You're the one that's got to get the 1 and 2s.
You sure it wasn't Chad Johnson's whole situation? That was tough.
That was bad too. Yeah, that was bad. Call My Grandma was bad, and that was bad too. Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, what do you got going on alldolphins.com so folks can check you out?
Okay, I highly recommend this because I just finished it, and I'm actually very proud of it. Very happy with it. I'm about to hit the publish button. It's a story dealing with the phrase we have heard so often this offseason. I'm so sick of it. And discussing and breaking down from all angles. And the phrase is the Miami Dolphins will go far in 2023 if Tua stays healthy. And I attack it from every angle.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. Encourage everybody to go to alldolphins.com. And also this weekend, I'm doing a mailbag. I have a call out already for questions. By all means, anybody just look at the Twitter handle over there, fire up questions, and we'll tackle them.
All right. Good stuff. You have the Dolphins winning the AFC East this year, don't you?
I haven't made that prediction yet.
Okay. If they stay healthy throughout the offseason, would you say they're going to win the AFC East?
They might.
Okay. Follow them on Twitter at Poopart NFL. Have a great Father's Day. I'll see your ass tomorrow anyway, so it doesn't matter.
There you go.
We'll be hanging out tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll tell you Happy Father's Day again. But see you tomorrow. We'll enjoy the lechon tomorrow, my friend.
Sounds like a plan. Looking forward to it.
You got it. There you go. Gotta love him. Alan Poupart, baby. Nobody styles a Montreal Expos hat like that man right there. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. What do we need here? Big O, do you think DeMarcus Cousins would be a good fit as a backup center for the Heat? He's physical under the basket and can also shoot from 3-point range. DeMarcus Cousins has been out of basketball for a couple of years now. I wouldn't want DeMarcus Cousins at all. I know. Didn't he say like a couple of months ago he's one of the 3 best centers? Get that quote for me. I remember like he said like I'm one of the best centers in the NBA right now or something like that. And it's like, no, you're not, bro. And you've been a sack of injuries for the last couple of years. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know, what are you going to do? But yeah, he's no, I don't. I know he used to be linked a lot to the Heat. Names I don't want to see with the Heat. I don't want to see CP3, just like I didn't want to see Kyle Lowry, and it made me sick to my stomach when the Heat signed Kyle Lowry. I thought that was ridiculous, and it's proven to be a shitty contract. I don't want to see DeMarcus Cousins. I don't want to see Chris Paul. You know, these are guys that have been mentioned with the Miami Heat in history. I remember Lamar Odom used to be mentioned, then they got him, but they still got him when he was young and before he started crack. And so, you know, there was a lot of positives to having Lamar Odom. There are no positives to getting Kyle Lowry when he's close to getting his AARP card. Zero positives. DeMarcus Cousins has been a disaster for years now. He hasn't been a player in forever. No. And CP3 is a sack of injuries. He is the most unreliable player in the NBA next to Zion Williamson. No. So I have no need for any of that stuff. Okay? As a head coach, he hasn't paid his dues. He has to be the boss because he's incapable of taking orders from anyone else. I don't know what that means. Cat thinks he would have changed the game by the time he retires. Karl Anthony Towns, another weird cat. Look, I have trouble picking too much on Karl Anthony Towns. That man lost 7 family members to COVID. So he's been through a lot. But he does say some wacky ass stuff and he's soft, and yeah, I'm not a Karl Anthony Towns guy, to be quite honest. No, very talented, very gifted, but you know, lacking in the cojones department. You know what I'm saying? We thank, of course, Alan Poupart, Manny Navarro, Cameron Wolf, David Dwork, the great people out here at KSDT CPA, Alan, Mr. Tarabolis, of course, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters this entire platform every single day. Appreciate you, sir. We are going to enjoy the weekend. We're going to relax. Unless there's breaking news, that's why we tell you to hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live. So on behalf of Sean Stanley and myself and everybody here at KSDT CPAs, baby, we will see you on Monday morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel.